John was doing silly dances as we were about to come live, and I was a little confused.
I was just getting geared up for grabbing my drink. I know that you cue your popping of the top to the break in the song, and so I prepare, and then when the moment hits, that's when I go and I grab my drink as we get ready for soccer over there.
I said John does a silly dance, and I was confused. I didn't say anything about you grabbing a drink. What are you talking about?
But the dance is getting in tune with the music before I grab the drink, and it's my way of dialing into the show.
There's light for you. You happy now? No, I just needed to turn it. I forgot. Sorry. I do like the dark, actually. When you have light sensitivity after a concussion, you don't mind the dark sometimes. But it's a show, so you guys probably should be able to at least somewhat see my face. So there you go. Forgot to turn the light around. Boom. It's soccer over there. Nick will not be with us unless he pops in, possibly drug-induced, and maybe not the fun ones. He had a little surgery today. He is all well, but he is probably not in condition to be talking about footy. Although you never know, and it's never stopped anybody before.
Oh, I was going to say, maybe we just dial him up and get him in for picks of the week and have it as that is an induced selection for him.
No, it's not how any of this works. He can pop in at any point, and he might. You never know. Could be feeling good, and he might just randomly appear. We know that's what Jarrett does all the time anyway. If he's feeling good or feeling bad, he just randomly appears. So yes. Nick's on the randomly appearing possibility today. We'll see what happens. We got a lot to get into. We've got games from John's beloved Premier League that we have to talk about, and horrible referee decisions from said league. We've got big teams losing games that we have to talk about. Is this a trend? Is it just a weird weekend? Is Mauricio Pochettino in trouble? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We'll get into all of that. We got World Cup qualifiers starting this week we got to talk about. We got UEFA Nations League semifinals and final to talk about. We got lots of things to get into, but it seems like from most of the folks on the social medias, well, I guess I should say social media today, since nothing else wants to work. Let's talk about the wonderful draw at Anfield with Manchester City and Liverpool that had some fireworks in it.
Woo. That was, you had moments of absolute magic, both offensively, and then you had key moments, depending on which team you were a fan of, defensively. And I think that a lot of folks who were anticipating this being a draw by the end, they weren't wrong, although it took a while to get it to the end result. But no, it was a great match. And as someone who's not really a fan of either, but understood the early season ramifications of it, right now, Mo Salah's goal of the year. Absolutely. I know that we're early, but still, it's going to take a lot to top that. And Rodri's moment of defense, keeping the match where it was. And then we can get into James Milner, obviously. But yeah, so I guess it was good and bad, but it was tremendous action on the weekend for those two clubs.
Okay, tell me what was good.
Mo Salah.
Tell me what was bad.
The no call on Milner.
Okay. Just making sure, because that was kind of open-ended, and I wanted to clarify. The no call on Milner was horrendous. There's no way around it. If that's a yellow card, nobody disagrees with it. Nobody argues with it. Milner takes his punishment, walks down the tunnel. Should have been a yellow. I'm not going to go into Pep Guardiola's comments afterwards to say he's right that if that's a City player, that's a red card or that's a second yellow. No, I don't know that there's a conspiracy against Manchester City. That should be a second yellow for anybody, anywhere. Doesn't matter. It's a second yellow. Just there's no way around it. So Liverpool got a little fortunate there. There are reports, and I believe a complaint has been filed now about spitting at the Manchester City technical staff. That's incredibly disgusting. And Liverpool, like, I have too much respect for Liverpool fans to believe that this is anything near a consensus opinion of how people act. But this is two things now with Manchester City, and it's not even a rivalry outside of them being the two best teams as of late. The throwing things at the bus and smashing windows to the point that players are hiding on the floor so they don't get glass smashed into their face is another kind of big issue from a few years ago. Like, stop this stupid crap. Like, it has nothing to do with the game. Just like the idiots fighting at El Trafico. It has nothing to do with the game. It doesn't make you cool. It doesn't make you a better fan. You're not even there for the game. If you're going to spit on the opposing team's, like, coaching staff, like, you should be arrested. That's assault. Flat out.
Absolutely.
Especially this time right now when we're dealing with COVID. That's horrible. And that's not what Liverpool fans are. But, man, get this stuff under control. It's going on everywhere. But it feels like every week we're talking about it. We've got to talk about it in Italy as well. There was racism again in Italy. It's just, come on. Like, talk about the games. Let's have fun with the games. Like, do you have to want to spit on the opposing fans? Do you have to want to spit on the opposing staff? Do you have to throw things at their bus? No, that's nothing to do with anything. Stop it. Just stop. We're not... Like, this is just not what this game is about. It feels like for some, that's being authentic. No, that's being stupid and criminal. So stop it. The game was great. The Mo Salah goal, yeah, it's the goal of the year so far. Absolutely. It's amazing. The Premier League is very competitive right now, which is always a good thing. Chelsea's on top after their win this weekend. Liverpool's second, a point back after the draw. City is 2 points back. Manchester United's 2 points back. Everton's 2 points back. Brighton's 2 points back. Then you get to Brentford and Tottenham, who are 4 points back. I mean, as bad as Sean is yelling about Tottenham, they got to win. I mean, they're only 4 points off the top. Yes, I said El Trafico because I said it about people being stupid. Yippee. Yay! What do you want me to call the game? The stupid Battle of Los Angeles with morons fighting in the stands? Call it that if you want. Put an acronym on it because that's what's cool. It's garbage. It's garbage. Talking about something negative, I'll call it El Trafico.
In L.A.
Yeah, I'm sure you will, and it'll be right there with the Louisville Indy game with the dumb acronym that nobody knows what it is except for those two sets of fans. And when you hear it elsewhere, you're like, what? Why are they doing that?
The Louisville Indianapolis Proximity Association Football Contest, LIPA FC. Yeah.
Why do we have to do these things? Let's stop in this game. Let's make it accessible and fun for all and not full of inside jokes, please. Anyway, there's my old man griping. What else stood out to you about the Premier League this weekend?
Brentford. Now that we're talking about them, Brentford and Brighton right now at 6 and 7. Brighton getting the draw. It was a goalless draw, but once again, Brighton's defense under Graham Potter. In 7 matches, you've only given up 5 goals. Right now, you're at 14 points in the table, and you're in 6th. Brentford getting a win at the absolute death against West Ham. So right now, you're looking at Brentford with 12 points in 7 matches, and good for Thomas Frank and what they've been able to do out of the blocks. This might. You
don't want to give Graham Potter any credit, do you?
No.
Why? What? No. You can't do that. No.
I know. I say that somewhat tongue in cheek.
Okay.
And I'm getting to the point now where, yeah, like I said, no, with Neil Maupay and what you're seeing with him, and and the work at the back. I mean, seriously, right now. You look at goals allowed in the Premier League through 7 matches. Chelsea and Manchester City have given up 3. Who is second? Brighton, 5.
Yep.
Well, so, I mean, right now you are third in goals allowed in the Premier League. and you're getting timely goals. I mean, and timely in the sense of, in key moments, you're finishing your chances. And right now, Brighton on the coast, +3 in goal difference, 7 matches through. You're right now, you're in 6th. Are they going to stay in 6th? I don't think so.
Is Brentford going to stay in 7th?
No.
Okay, yeah. Give them credit for both of them for what they're doing.
I'm giving them credit for what they've done so far. Do I think they're going to finish 6th and 7th? No. But
I know.
They're off to hot starts.
I know.
But
your dislike of Graham Potter was showing because you had to throw the butt in there on Brighton. You didn't on Brentford. Just saying.
Brentford coming up from the championship, and right now through 7 matches, you're in 7th. You're in 7th place. You're getting, and also to Thomas Frank's credit, once again, we mentioned that Brighton has given up 5 goals this year in 7 matches. Who's given up 6? Liverpool, Manchester United, and Brentford.
Yep,
and Wolves,
Wolves who've only scored 5, but they've won 2 in a row somehow.
Yes, they have. So. That's stood out so far. Watford has named their 72nd new manager in 12 days.
It's not quite that many, but isn't it this ownership in the last 8 years, maybe 9 years, their 13th or 14th appointment?
Yeah.
It's something ridiculous.
The epitome of the quick trigger. I mean, you thought Chris Penso was a quick trigger before this year. The Wolves ownership group, when it comes to, the Watford ownership group, when it comes to bringing in a new manager, has been just absolutely ridiculous. And it is snap judgment central. And, you could get whiplash from trying to pay attention to the Watford ownership group and trying to figure out how long it's like being in South America when it comes to Brazil and having managers there, or Argentina. And Claudio Ranieri signed a 2-year deal today after they disposed of Xisco Gomez. And so now it will be up to Claudio Ranieri to keep Watford up. And right now, obviously, they're 4 points clear. We're 7 matches in, but you're 2-1-4. You're up and down, literally, and I mean that in every sense. Right now, your last 3, you're 1-1-1. So, let's see what Claudio Ranieri.
I got a question.
Sure.
Watford's 15th.
Yeah.
They're 1-1-1 in their last 3.
Mm-hmm.
They fired their manager.
Yep.
Where should they be?
I would think that I had them as one of the 3 teams that was going to get relegated at the beginning of the year.
So they're doing better than they were supposed to.
Yeah, in my mind, yeah.
And they fired their manager.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where do they think they should be?
That's the thing. That's the issue in all of this for me. It's
really?
where do you think you're supposed to be?
Really? Where do they think they should be?
I don't know. I'd love to be able to sit down with this ownership group and sit there and go, what are your expectations? After 7 matches, you're not even 20% of the way into your schedule, and you're above the relegation zone. When a lot of folks probably thought that you weren't going to be around after this season. You're going to be one and done, and you're going to be one of those pogos that we see from the championship going up and down, and one of those yo-yo teams. And you're 15th. Look, you're above the relegation zone right now. There are teams that are worse than you. You're 1-1-1 in your last 3, so you fire your manager. That makes less than no sense. But once again, we're talking about this particular ownership group, so it fits their MO. Sadly,
their club has the lowest squad valuation of any club in the division, and they're not in a relegation spot, and they're firing the manager.
Mm-hmm.
Second, Claudio Ranieri, why are you taking that job?
I don't know.
Why do you want to go there? None of it makes any sense.
No.
None of that makes any sense. That's crazy.
No. And there are 4 teams right now in the Premier League that have not won a match so far this season. Watford has won 2 of their 7. And you still want to fire your manager and bring in Claudio Ranieri. And, okay, so we'll see where this goes. To me, it is not a recipe for success. But that's what this ownership group, once again, sadly is known for, is just, it's like, nope, Bringing somebody new. Nope. It's like you go to Toys R Us and you have the one toy or whatever. You get the new shiny toy from Toys R Us. You bring it home. You take it out in the backyard. You sit there and you play with it for a couple of days. You get tired of it. It's like, no, I want the new truck. And you bring in the new truck, play with it, and you just keep throwing everything away.
What kind of a household did you live in, John?
No, I had
I didn't live in that house.
Trucks. No, I had absolutely. I had all the Tonka trucks and played baseball in my backyard and all that kind of stuff. I had the same toys forever, but it's just like, there's always like that one kid on the block that you knew growing up who was like, no, I don't. In the truck, you play with the truck and the truck just stays over there and it just gets dust and, gets all the weeds that grow over it and everything.
What? Go ahead, finish the analogy.
No, that's just it. There was always that one kid on the block that never was satisfied unless he had the shiniest, newest toy, and that's what this Watford ownership group seems to be. It's like, I'm tired of this old toy that I have here. Look, you've only had it for a year and a half. I don't care. I want the new shiny toy. So you get rid of the truck and you bring in the new truck.
Still going about the truck. I'm with Cassie. This kid has a name. I didn't live on that block, first off. I didn't grow up on that block. Man, craziness.
Yeah, poor Card, I'll own up to it. It was me.
Yeah. John's mic absolutely killed Facebook. But when he rebooted his computer, Facebook didn't come back, unfortunately. So Watford likes new shiny toy trucks, I guess. Mm-hmm. Sure, except they're not spending on their roster, so I don't think that analogy actually works because they're not giving the manager anything to work with, really. It's bad, and it's dumb, and we'll see if Claudio Ranieri lasts the year. Let's get to Spurs, because Sean Vergara wants Nuno fired and wants a director of football who actually wants to play attacking football in, which I agree with the last part for sure. I don't know about Nuno being fired. David Ornstein did drop this bit of knowledge out there earlier from The Athletic, says Tottenham's in a strong position on Nuno whether he succeeds or not. It's a 2-year contract. It's got a clause allowing Tottenham to release him after 1 year without paying compensation if he doesn't secure a top 6 finish. Do you think Tottenham finishes in the top 6? It's not that hard.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't see it.
I think it'll be tight, but I don't think so.
I don't see it. I don't know if it's that tight. I don't see it. I don't think they're good enough to finish in the top 6. And then if Tottenham wants to fire him, they can fire him.
And I mean, because Chelsea, Liverpool, City, United.
Yeah. Four are done. 4 of the 6 are done wherever they fall in the top 6. 4 of them are there. It'd be shocking if any of them fell out of the top 6.
And you're looking at Everton, West Ham, Villa on past results. And then you're looking at, do Brighton and Brentford hang around?
Arsenal's very upset with you leaving them out of this conversation.
Yeah, well, Arsenal, yeah, true. They have, after losing their first 3, they won their next 3, and then they drew with Brighton. So in any gooner right now, you're on the upswing. Your stock is a growth stock at the moment.
Turner asks if Spurs win the UEFA Conference League. They might. It's possible. I guess anything is possible, but there was a great quote from earlier today that I am scrolling back to find. First off, Louis van Gaal gave a press conference getting ready for the Dutch national team to be back in action, and he is in rare form. Mr. Van Gaal is not a happy man. You think I'm a grumpy old guy right now. When asked about the Dutch clubs doing pretty well in Europe, LVG said, "The highest level is what matters only, and PSV didn't qualify for this. The Conference League, it's not a league that puts a smile on your face. You face Frick and Frack there." Who's Frick and who's Frack in this scenario, Louis?
Oh, Slovan Bratislava and...
Oh, no, there might be more Frick in somebody else.
Zorya Luhansk?
They could be Frack. It's possible.
Mura?
No, I don't think they're Frick or Frack.
Let's see. Almaty or Ammonia in Group H?
Possible.
Lincoln Red Imps, maybe?
Yeah, they're Frick. They're definitely Frick.
Maccabi Haifa?
No, they're actually pretty strong, well-established team. What are you talking about? Why are you trying to put them in frickin' frack?
Oh, Flora and Anorthosis in Group B.
That sounds like frack, yes. So that's who Louis Van Gaal was talking about. He also, since we're on the subject, we'll get back to England in just a second. Louis, does have the experience in England. Anybody can hire him if they want. He's out of retirement now, so go for it. When the media asked a question about the first choice for right wing being Berghuis, who at Ajax has played as a 10 the past few weeks, Louis said, yes, and before that he didn't play at all. So he should thank God on his knees that I played him 3 times in a row with the Dutch national team.
Oh, man.
Then he was asked, why is Danjuma not included in the squad list? He's doing very well in Spain. Louis said, that's what you think. Are you the manager? Person responded and said, no. Okay, good. He has done well, but I decided not to include him. I don't need you guys to make decisions. I need these televised at all times.
Absolutely.
I need these televised. I need to see this on a regular basis.
Oh, wow.
I need a Louis Van Gaal reality show, since it seems that Ronald Koeman's little show is going to be shut down by Joan Laporta, since Ronald Koeman is going to stick around. I think mainly it's because they couldn't get anybody to take the job right now. But anyway,
True. Yeah.
Laporta came out like, oh, yeah, everything's great. Yeah, we're going to keep him. Yeah, sure. Yeah. But he also, according to AD in the Netherlands, Laporta gave Koeman a ban on speaking. Coach is not allowed to speak to his situation at Barcelona with the Dutch media. He was announced to appear on a Dutch talk show, but after the ban on speaking, he declined. It continues to get better. And yes, that again, I completely agree. I disagree. I don't think it's that they couldn't afford to get rid of him. I think they would have found some monopoly money to throw at him.
Who would take the job?
That's what I think it is. I think they couldn't find somebody to take it because Roberto Martinez isn't leaving right now when they're in the semis of the Nations League, and I don't think he's leaving until after the World Cup. Gallardo has said he's not leaving until at the end of the year when his contract is up, and he was very cat and mouse with the media in Argentina ahead of Superclasico about that. He didn't really say, no, I haven't been talked to. He just talked about his contract status. So, okay. There are some reports from some dubious sources in Spain that Eric Ten Hag has agreed to take the club next year. And, of course, he wants like 5 different players to, I guess, for him to take the job. And one of them's Erling Haaland. And, anyway.
Yeah, get right on that.
Dubious sourcing. I think they could get rid of him because they could probably just not send the money until they have it. I don't think they could actually get anybody to take the job. So anyway, they're keeping Ronald Koeman for now, and yay, good times. I'm sure it will go very smoothly the rest of the way with his ban on speaking. I'm sure that will really go over well. So far, so good. Okay, there's one game and club we have not talked about in England that we do have to talk about, and they are Manchester United. Ole's in trouble. Ole's in big trouble because, one, the results are not where you'd like to see them. They are in 4th, though. I mean, let's do keep that in mind. But the results are not where people would like to see them. They are 2 points off of the top. Let's keep that in mind. But people have wanted to get him out for a while. Well, any little thing that happens, he's going to get heat. And he's got heat right now. He's got heat after a draw this weekend with Everton. A home draw, not good. He's got heat because, as Gary Neville said about Cristiano Ronaldo, he walks off the pitch muttering to himself, which throws questions up in the air. What is he saying? Who is he annoyed with? It can only come back to the manager. He, talking about Ronaldo, is smart enough to know actions like that will bring real pressure on the manager, more than he is already under. I mean, it's real. Like, that's absolutely real. And I don't think Ole finishes the season. I don't know if that should be the case, but I don't think he finishes the season because I think that's already basically been decided by the people who are going to influence this decision. Also, I don't know if Manchester United is better than Chelsea, Liverpool, or Manchester City, even with the additions they made. I think they're close. I think they're a lot closer. I think they have to be where they are within shouting distance, but I don't think they're a better roster than the other 3.
Nope.
I don't. I think fourth is where they should be. They're in fourth. They're 2 points back. They're right there. There shouldn't be the heat that there is right now, which makes it almost an inevitability that he will get fired because that heat is real. And everybody can say, we don't pay attention to the media, we're not listening. Everybody's listening. They are. That's how this stuff goes. Players who will tell you, I don't know what they say about me, they could tell you every single thing that was written in the paper or written on social media by anybody that matters. It's real. The heat is real. I don't think it's fair right now, but it's real. We'll see. I said coming into the season that if they were in a position where it looked like they were out of the title race or not going to make it to the knockout rounds in the Champions League, that he would get fired. I almost think it might be even higher of a bar for him to keep his job now. I think that heat is going to ramp up. Gary Neville's 100% right. Cristiano Ronaldo's been around the block. He knows exactly what those things can do. He knows what his actions can do. I don't know if he wants Ole out. I mean, I don't know what the deal is with that, but you know that when the manager's already under pressure, and again, they all know the manager's under pressure. No, this is not a secret to anybody in that team. They know that every action is going to increase that pressure. Still did it. Maybe lost his head. I don't know. I think he's a little bit smarter than that. Antonio Conte is sitting by the phone, chilling, waiting, probably with an espresso in his hand, just waiting for the call, because he will be the call. And will he make them better? Yeah, I think he's a better manager than Ole. I think Ole has questions about his management experience because, I mean, it's real. Look at where he was before this. I don't think that means he's done a bad job. On the contrary, I think he's done a really good job at Manchester United. I think he's got them in a position now where they are where they used to be, in the title mix, in the mix to win trophies. They weren't there when he took over. But all that heat, all those things are real things. I know they're in the air, it's heat, I know, but it's real. And the first sideways thing said by a Ronaldo, by a Pogba, maybe not a Pogba because there's people who already have their knives out for Pogba since he arrived too, by Ronaldo for sure, by some other squad members, anything sideways that's said, any bad result, which can happen to anybody, any bad result, he might go sooner rather than later. And I don't think that helps unless they know they can get Antonio Conte and they are ready to go down that road and know what it's going to mean, because he's going to demand even more spending. He's going to demand even more additions. He's going to make big demands. He's not going to take a job where he's not going to be supported properly, and he's earned that right. He's got the trophies to back that up. He's the one. And Will, with a really good point, and this can affect the heat a little bit. With Conte being the only viable big name out there, is there almost a race to be the first big team to dump your coach? Yeah, that race could be PSG and Manchester United. Mm-hmm. Because PSG lost over the weekend in league play. And look, is it going to derail their title hopes? Probably not. But is it wait a minute. Yes. Along with a lot of other things that have happened at PSG since Messi showed up. And you've got Mbappe admitting on French television that he called Neymar a tramp. He said, yes, I said it. He admitted it.
Yep.
He admitted it. He not French television, sorry, L'Equipe. He confirmed to L'Equipe that he called Neymar a tramp following his substitution in a recent PSG match. I had to look it up just to be sure. The last time that the word tramp, and this is in English, of course, maybe in French it's a little bit different. Maybe it's a popular, insult in France. I don't know. In English, the last time that this was a popular word was 1945. Like, it's declined pretty much ever since. There's been a couple little rises in popularity and usage, but Tramp saw its heyday in usage from 1945 back to 1915. Good job, Kylian Mbappe. Thanks for bringing that back. So you got Pochettino dealing with players being called tramp by their teammates and losing games in the French league. And you've got Ole, again, in fourth, 2 points back behind the teams that I think are better than him, but dropping some results and, 2 games without a win now. Okay. You do have 2 teams that might be in that race. Because let's say they both pull the trigger the same day. Conte's going to pick one. Who does the other one go try to get? If Manchester United is the other team in this scenario, and Conte's out of the picture, I don't know who they go get. I really don't know who that would be.
Because you're not going to prize Zidane off the beach.
No, neither team's going to get Zidane. If one team was to get Zidane, it would be Manchester United because he's not going to PSG. He's a Marseille guy. He won't go to PSG, but I don't think he's going to either one. I mean, who else is there that would be the guy? If let's say PSG loses another game in league and Manchester United draws like this weekend, and PSG's like, all right, that's it, we're done. You're fired, Pochettino, go. And then Manchester United's like, oh, Ole, you're fired, get out. Like, then what? See, like, four-card, Paulo Fonseca's not in that range. Now, do they have to go get him because they miss out on Conte? It's possible. It's possible. Gattuso's possible. Yogi Love, I don't think is in that realm at all. Will, I really don't, because he hasn't managed at the club level since the late 90s. I don't think people see him that way. I think like a Fonseca would be ahead of that. I really do. Dead Again says Yogi Love too. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think he's seen in that light. I really don't. I don't think anybody gets Zidane, YouTube. I really don't. I think he's going to wait for the France job. Manchester United would have to get 2 trucks of cash to dump it on the beach to get Zidane's attention. Yeah, I mean, 4-card, that's probably what happens, is then Pochettino finally goes to Manchester United. But is he going to do any better than Ole with this group? I don't know. I really don't. It seems like now what people are pointing at when it comes to Manchester United is Ole's not a good tactics guy. He's not a good tactician. Like, the lineup's questionable, setups questionable, subs. He's not making subs that impact the game. Tactics. Okay. Conte, get it. Got it. Understand. Pochettino in that situation, I don't look at him like that. I think he's a team builder. I think he's a very good team builder. I don't know if PSG or Manchester United is really the spot for him. I think he does his best at a team just underneath that and builds them, like he did with Tottenham, to be perfectly honest. But I don't know how Manchester United spends that if they fire Ole and then hire Pochettino, who just got fired at PSG.
Yeah.
I don't know what the spin job is.
Okay. Courtesy of bettingodds.com. Here's your next manager odds.
I should have known.
For Manchester United.
Who is it?
Poch is the leader in the clubhouse at 10-3.
That's idiotic.
Brendan Rodgers at 4-1.
If he left Leicester for that, I'd be shocked. I mean, maybe just because of the different level and of financial resources you're going to get. Maybe. I don't think so.
Conte is third at 5-1.
That's crazy. I'm like willing to go throw some like turkey and gravy flavored candy corn at that.
Zidane is fourth at 12-1.
No, I'm not touching that.
Nagelsmann at 16.
What? He's not leaving.
Gareth Southgate at 16-1.
Oh, I don't think he'd leave, but that's not bad. But I just don't think he'd leave. I don't think he'd be available to you.
And then wrapping up the lower numbers, it's Max Allegri and Rangnick at 20. Potter and
Allegri's
Bielsa.
not leaving. Rangnick would be hilarious and wild. And no.
And then you're getting into just names at 25-1. It's just
Yes.
That's it.
KFC, yes, it would be the gravy and turkey flavored candy corn that I would throw on Antonio Conte at 5-1. It's real. It's a real thing. I remember it from last time. I was highly disturbed by it. A little bit angry about it, to be perfectly honest. It's pretty disgusting.
Yeah.
Candy corn's bad enough, but like turkey and gravy flavored? No. Get out of here with that.
No.
Garbage.
And, so they don't have a sack race number for PSG currently.
Well, that's just stupid.
I mean, they've got Manchester United, Barca, Newcastle, Spurs, and Southampton, but they don't have anything for PSG.
Okay, I'm not exactly 100% correct because South Georgia United is yelling at me. What the flavor is turkey dinner candy corn. I see the bag right in front of me on the screen. Turkey dinner candy corn from Brock's. Look it up.
Ugh.
Disgusting.
Can't do it. Nope.
Gross.
Nope.
I think they introduced it last year. Yes, they did. It is. Let me see what it says. God, do I have to actually look at this? A full course Thanksgiving meal in a unique mix of candy corn flavors that will carry celebrations throughout the fall season. Also known as garbage. It's gross. Sean, it's gross. Accept it. I'm bullying people over candy corn now.
Just ew.
Pumpkin pie flavored candy corn. Caramel apple flavored candy corn. Donut shop candy corn. Pumpkin pie candy corn. I mean, come on. What are we doing here?
No. Blech.
No. All candy corn is gross. It's disgusting. I'm slightly offended that some of you like it. That's all I'm going to say. At least for today. Let me rephrase. At least for 22 minutes. 8 o'clock hour, I make no guarantees. I might trash candy corn again. All right, so we have not figured out who would really take over at Manchester United if they couldn't get Antonio Conte, because I don't think there's a good answer. I don't know if there's a much better answer than Ole, to be perfectly honest. South Georgia, you go enjoy your candy corn. You go and enjoy that. I don't want any of it. Let's move on to Spain, because we talked about Valencia recently. Valencia's salary cap number, well, it's actually like soccer spending numbers, maybe the better way to put it, because it's more than just salaries. It's the bottom one in La Liga, 30 million euro. I think Barcelona probably owes Liverpool 30 more million euro for Philippe Coutinho for something or other. Yeah. Valencia can only spend 30 million euro on their soccer product. That's really low. I think Real Madrid's like 700. Then there was a rumor that Miguel Zorio made a proposal to buy out Peter Lim, the Asian businessman who owns Valencia, who has run it completely and utterly into the ground, under the ground. It came back out from under the ground and then ran out of gas. Valencia put a statement out there that said, Peter Lim reiterates his commitment as the majority shareholder. The claims about Zorio speaking to a friend of Peter Lim's who told him that Peter Lim was interested in the offer. The club insists that Zorio's claims could not be further from the truth and that Peter Lim has no knowledge of this person. The statement concludes that Kim is keen to be clear and transparent. A surprising move considered there have been next to no messages from Singapore in recent years to the multitude of rumors surrounding the club. Good job. Yes, Valencia has the same spend basically as Toronto FC. Actually, no, probably less, because Toronto, the spend is not just roster, it's coach, it's technical staff. It's all soccer staff. It's academy. It's everything on the soccer side. So probably not. Like, probably has the same spend as like Real Salt Lake. Good job, Valencia. But they don't want to sell. No. Don't want to do that. But don't want to spend anything. And they're going to get relegated. I'm blown away that they haven't. They will. It's just a matter of time at this point. Again, good job, Peter Lim. Good job, Valencia. Keep up the good work.
I mean, right now, they're through the first 8. They're in 8th right now.
It's incredible that they've been able to stay up with this stuff because, I mean, they're not going to be able to spend a whole lot more next year because of this. It's not like they're going to make a bunch of money. I guess maybe with the fans back in the stands, maybe things go up a little bit, but everybody's is going to go up.
Yeah.
So, like, you get one injury, that squad is probably so thin. There's just no way. It's a credit to the staff to have them where they are. I don't think they stay. I don't think they stay ahead of Barcelona, for example. And Barcelona's a mess.
Their next match is actually against Barca when everybody comes back 2 Sundays from now. So that's going to be a fun one.
Barca's a mess, and Barca can still spend 3 times as much as Valencia. I know. There was Champions League soccer there 2 years ago. I know. Peter Lim is running this thing into the ground really fast. And it's going to catch up to him because when you're able to only spend that much and everybody else can spend so much more, like, you're going to get lapped multiple times. We'll see. We'll see where they end up this year. It's not good. I mentioned Italy, and Fiorentina is where the latest soccer over there racism charges come from. Fiorentina did issue a statement immediately afterwards. Fiorentina condemns the incidents of racism that took place during the match against Napoli on Sunday in the strongest terms. Koulibaly is the one who was racially abused. He talked about it from, I think it was his Instagram. I would tell you to go look, but I don't think Instagram's back up yet. But it is out there what Koulibaly said in response to being racially abused. General manager of Fiorentina, Joe Baroni, personally apologized to Napoli and the players who were subjected to these shameful and intolerable chants after the match on behalf of the club. This is from the Fiorentina statement. Fiorentina has already provided the police with all video footage and other resources in order to ensure that the individuals responsible for the despicable chants are identified. Once the relevant authorities have identified those responsible, Fiorentina will ban them from the stadium in hopes that all other clubs to do the same, in addition to ensuring that all rules are applied consistently for all. Okay, all good. Love that. All good. Then, and remember, we've talked about this one before, this is from the Fiorentina statement about their fans doing something racist. In the statement, we were surprised that, on occasions such as Atalanta versus Fiorentina, we did not see the same quick action and attention in the wake of equally shameful events targeting a Fiorentina player. President Camiso and all at ACF Fiorentina have long been engaged in the fight against racism and all forms of discrimination and are disappointed that the ignorance and stupidity of a small group have brought shame not just to the club but to the city of Florence, for whom multiculturalism and integration are core values. Nick talked about this one a little bit because I was kind of, when Fiorentina issued their statement about their player being racially abused in Bergamo against Atalanta, and they kind of talked about Florence and kind of the same things that they're talking about here. That was a little like, wait a minute, what? Like, okay. And now in this situation where Fiorentina fans have racially abused a player, they are attacking Atalanta again. I have not heard any update on the Atalanta situation, so I don't know. I guess I should probably start a counter or spreadsheet about these issues in Italy because they seem to happen in different places every weekend. It's got to be dealt with like this first part of the statement, though. I love that Fiorentina came out very strongly and said, all right, we're going to identify this. Here's all the footage. Tell us who it is. You tell us who it is, they're banned from the stadium. I hope that's for good. And I hope when these things start to happen on a regular basis, then people say, yeah, I'm going to stop doing that because I'd like to go to games. It's just very frustrating. Totally agree, Kefsi. Koulibaly is the best center back in the league. And Napoli's been great this season so far. Also in Italy, Inter might be having some problems. Inter had to do don't know if dubious is the right word here. When you're broke and you're really broke, like really big trouble broke, and you got bills to pay, you don't get the favorable loan options at that point. You don't get the, here's some money. You pay us back
3%,
when you can.
Yeah.
No, you don't get your buddy saying, here you go. You're good. You're good for it. I got you later. It's all good. You don't get that. Your buddy's not taking that call anymore. Your buddy's tapped out. You're going to somebody completely different. Now, Inter's in that spot. On Thursday, they posted, DM Tim says, like Barcelona broke. That it might be worse. Different situation because of the ownership structure, but it might be worse. Inter posted on Thursday a $285 million loss for the fiscal year that ended in June. COVID, yes. Third straight year of reported losses for Inter, so this was happening before. Last season, Inter reported $421 million in revenue, down from $443 million the previous year. They reported $102 million in losses in 2020. So last 2 years, you're up to $387 million in losses. No financial stability on the horizon. Suning, their owner from China, was ready to sell Inter. The company hired Goldman Sachs as advisors in January. Took a different route. They turned to private equity. So, U.S.-based PE private equity firm Oaktree Capital gave a $318 million loan to the Chinese company to be paid in 3 years. This was last May. This amount is approximately the same as a 30% stake in the club. According to Bloomberg, if Suning fails to pay back its debt, the unpaid loan could lead to Oaktree taking complete control of the team. And this is from Juan Arceniegas, who is of 777 Partners, who just bought Genoa for $150 million. Juan says, it's difficult to go to a bank to get financing without strong collateral. Sometimes when the clubs are struggling and they don't have available collateral, unencumbered collateral is used to borrow against. They need to go to other types of lenders that are not banks that are willing to take more risk. And those lenders tend to take collateral such as the equity in the club. So if Suning can't pay this money back, they're going to lose the club, or at least lose control of the club.
There are times when you lose all of that money and traditional ways of lending are no longer going to be available to you. And there's always those movies that we saw growing up about offers that you couldn't refuse and you had to take it at 20 or 25% interest or this or that. Now you have companies who will sit there and go, well, okay, well, how about we just take like an equity stake, sit there and it's like, okay, we'll give you this and this will help you along. But if you can't navigate this, then it turns into this. And you see the desperate nature of some folks who are trying to hang on to the asset that they have, and they'll sit there and they'll go, okay, I'll go to a capital investment firm or whatever, thinking that maybe they can get out of the mess that they're in, but it looks like in this case they're not, and it's looking like Oaktree Capital might be adding something to their portfolio fairly soon.
Yeah, it's not good. And this one is a little different. I think that does need to be stated. Like, Barcelona ran itself into the ground. They did a really good job of it.
Yeah.
Inter has had other issues that have affected this. It's not purely like bad management at the club. Suning has other financial problems that have affected Inter.
Right.
I'm sure they probably wish they had been a little more fiscally responsible as well, but that's where you are, and it's a problem. Don't know. Inter owner Suning, this was September 27th, are now expected to honor a massive $250 million debt that is due to a finance company based in Hong Kong. That was on September 27th. Okay. I'm sure they're in perfect position to pay whatever their first $100+ million first installment of this
that first
loan.
balloon payment. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they're completely fine to do that. All is well. If you like anybody on Inter's roster and you have some money to spend, you might want to talk to them in January.
Yes.
That might be what happens. I'm not going on y'all's candy corn eating golf trip. No. I don't want your candy corn.
Coward.
It's gross, Jarrett. It's gross.
Candy corn is gross. And the flavor that you introduced, that Brock's is, ugh.
Turkey dinner flavored candy corn. It's gross, Jarrett.
Wait, what?
Yes, I told you it's gross.
That's not my fault.
It's gross. Blame Brock's.
Okay, that's fine.
Gross.
But that's not my fault.
Man.
Don't get mad at me because other people make decisions.
I'm mad because you come in here shouting the virtues of candy corn, and I already broken my promise. I said I wasn't going to talk bad about candy corn at least until 8 o'clock, and it's not even 8 o'clock, and I talked bad about it before you came in.
Just
so.
by 8 minutes.
I lied. I'm sorry. I apologize.
You did.
No, I don't. Candy corn's horrible.
This is very much one of those, I'd like to take this moment to apologize to absolutely no one.
Yeah, I couldn't rip that off completely. I had to go in a different direction. We're just catching up on the weekend of stuff. Jarrett, your thoughts on if the doomsday scenario happens and Manchester United fires Ole Gunnar Solskjaer on the day that PSG fires Mauricio Pochettino, which one gets Antonio Conte and who does the other one get?
Buddy, I'm surprised they didn't fire him for losing to Rennes without getting a shot on goal.
Yeah, it's bad enough they lost. They didn't get a shot on goal. That's like, what? Who was on the field?
I think that's like the second consecutive time that they've come out of a Champions League group window where they lose the first match after coming back. That's
like some inverse Brendan Rodgers energy right there. Brendan Rodgers usually bookends his Champions League with good games and then drops like a 6-2 loss in Champions League. That's impressive by Pochettino.
It's something.
Man, impressive's not always a good thing. Like, the Hindenburg was impressive too. I mean, impressive doesn't always have to mean positive things. Good God, PSG.
I had to double check. Like, they fielded a lineup with Kylian Mbappe, Neymar, this number 30 guy, Messi, Di Maria, Verratti. What?
No shots on goal.
Icardi came off the bench? Oh, that's probably about right. What? 13 shots, none on goal.
Clearly, Rennes must be like, should we pencil in Rennes for like Champions League and Europa League? Like somehow they win both this year?
No.
Oh, no. So this must be an indictment of PSG. Yes. Oh my God. We had joked about this, about how funny it would be if PSG just like fell apart at the seams, especially in Champions League. Hell, man, they might fall apart at the seams in the league, which is like, that's like anti-humor at this point.
I mean, I don't think it's going to affect them really in the league. It shouldn't. They were 8-0 coming into this, so I think they'll be okay. But it's another one where, just like Ole, you already had people saying that Poch was going to fail. You already had that. Forecard says give PSG a break. They beat Manchester City. They did. And that's the up and down nature, though, is the shocking thing. You already had people who said Poch was going to fail. Now, any hint of failing, things get lit on fire.
And that's a good point by Forecard, too, because like that wasn't like they caught Man City on a bad day. They caught Man City on a good day and like kept their legs in the ring pretty decently.
Yeah, they didn't exactly dominate that game.
No, but that's what I mean. Like, y'all got out of there with a win, and it's not like Man City didn't show up.
Yeah, but they got to win. Nothing.
They got to win.
You can't complain about that too much.
Against a team that you're expecting to be in the final.
PSG's a team that's expecting to be in the final. That's the problem with your theory here, Jarrett. Because at home, PSG, again, who all they got? Like, you want to go through this
Everybody.
roster again?
No.
They started Neymar, Mbappe, and Messi in that. They had Herrera, they had Verratti. Donnarumma has been on the bench. He finally gets off the bench to play in this game, and he plays great. All the players.
Is Donnarumma going to become the new Keylor Navas?
No, he's not. Keylor Navas is still the Keylor Navas. But when you're at home,
CONCACAF goalkeeper from hell.
When you're at home against a good team, absolutely a good team in Manchester City, a finalist from the year before. PSG was there the year before that. And all right, 46% possession, whatever. You get outshot at home 18-6. Donnarumma makes 7 saves. You have 3 shots on target. You score on 2. You won, and that's a win. It's a good win. Can't say it's an impressive win. Ooh, 4-card, you might be right. It says PSG is the 2004 Lakers.
Good God.
Messi's not the Karl Malone in this scenario, though. I'm really offended by that possibility.
I like to think of Messi as being a better human being than Karl Malone, who is human garbage can.
Yes.
You don't know what we're talking about? Go look it up.
Go look it up.
That's your Google search.
Go look it up. Also, just to add to the fun for Maurizio Pochettino at PSG, Mbappe gave a well-rounded interview where he did admit that he called Neymar a tramp, and he also said that all this stuff about like me being a bad guy, saying I asked for a transfer at the last month of August, that's not true. I asked for it in July. He wanted out.
I'm not comfortable with Mbappe being my favorite player right now, but he's my favorite petty player right now, and I appreciate his honesty here.
Oh, he don't care. He don't care because he knows he's about to get paid.
And I love it.
He's about to get paid. Paid. He saw those numbers that Real Madrid has
paid to just chill out in Madrid and live a really good life, and occasionally show up for the French national team. And I don't know. I can't. Well, they're always gonna counter their expectations.
So a couple other things from the Mbappe article with L'Equipe. He will insist that it is written into his next contract he'll be able to play at the 2024 Olympics. Okay, that's cool. He gave a presser, or he talked about why he gave a presser about his feud with Olivier Giroud at the Euros. As it started in public, it had to end in public. It's simple, but I don't have any problem with him. Okay.
I love this man right now.
Yeah.
I'm really upset with myself. But I love
so who has less foxes to give right now? Louis Van Gaal or Kylian Mbappe?
Oh, Louis Van Gaal because he's older. And
Louis Van Gaal's got a career of
things we can use for it. Kylian Mbappe also said about the PSG president, Al Khelaïfi. He said, when your president says in front of the entire world that you're not going to leave, nor leave on a free, at the time, I was a bit worried. I'm not going to lie. What was he worried about? What do you think he's going to do? He can't, kidnap him.
Is he worried he's going to get, is he worried this man's going to make him sleep with the fishes?
I guess. Man.
The man's going to drop him in the river. Or push him off the
cement shoes, a couple of cement boots for him.
And I like to imagine that river is probably polluted enough that he just sank.
Now,
it's like dropping someone in the Thames in 1870. You don't have to put cement shoes in. Whatever the hell is in there is going to take care of the job for you.
Now, I have learned that tramp, as it translates from what was said to English and it's tramp, it can also mean bum. This bum, he never passes to me, which makes sense.
Okay, yeah.
That makes sense. It's still...
A Lady in the Tramp. I mean, that was...
Yeah. It's so much better that it's tramp.
That's more of a context. That feels like a closer context.
Yeah. It's so much
to what we're thinking here. And
I don't want it to be, though.
When you put it like that, it becomes somehow an absurdly hilarious insult.
This tramp, he never passes to me. I want it to be tramp. I'm going to pretend it's still tramp.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, DM Tim. Yeah, absolutely. No, I know. Bum is probably the better direct translation from it, but he said tramp. We're going to say tramp. We're going to be exact. That's what we do around here. We try anyway. I'm trying to see if there's anything else because, man, he said a lot of things to L'Equipe. Didn't imagine Messi coming to PSG. Says he's great. He speaks with everyone. He's trying to integrate in his own way, even if he's a bit shy. But he's not shy on the pitch. That is true. At the start of the summer, you told PSG that you didn't want to extend. Why? Mbappe said, at the start, I asked for some time to reflect. Before the Euros, I told the club that I didn't want to renew, and after the Euros, I said I wanted to leave. My ambition was really for everyone to move forward hand in hand, the selling club, the buying club, and me. That we work out the best deal possible and go out through the front door. I also wanted to leave my club the time to find a replacement, that everyone would be happy and that I could go on my merry way. They asked, was the idea to avoid leaving on a free? He said, also that, yes. But the club decided not to sell me. I was okay with that. I kept playing for the whole month of August, and I was putting in good performances. I don't have an issue with that. I'm still at a big team and in a place where I've been happy for 4 years. He said he didn't want to fight with the club. He said that would have been ungrateful. It wouldn't have been appreciative towards a club that welcomed me at 18 and gave me a lot over 4 years. With the transfer window and notably Messi's arrival, did you ever think that it might be worth staying? Mbappe said no, because I don't make decisions on sudden impulses. I had made my decisions and I had thought long and hard about it. Question, were you disappointed to stay? He said at the time a bit. When your ambition is to leave and you stay, you're not happy about it. But I quickly moved on. Mbappe might want to give some advice to Harry Kane about moving on. Just saying. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, Mbappe says, I got injured while on international duty. I came back quickly. I had the time to mourn over it while there weren't any matches. When I came back, I scored and I performed well once again. So Harry Kane needs to get hurt so he can mourn over it and come back and not
hurt again. Yes.
Seem like he's upset. Well, no, he hasn't missed any time, has he?
No, but so traditionally there's always that Harry Kane injury that we always see in season. That keeps him out for
now you're attacking Harry Kane out of nowhere. Why is Harry Kane catching strays from you? What'd he do? Jeez. Harry Kane plays a lot of games.
It is almost Harry Kane injury o'clock because of Gummy Bear Cup.
True.
That's different. He's the one playing the Gummy Bear Cup. I mean, can you blame him?
I blame Daniel Levy for a lot of things, personally.
Well, yeah.
There's that.
But it's not his fault their Gummy Bear Cup exists. I'm going to check this really quick. So last year, Harry Kane played 35 games.
I'm going to blame Daniel Levy when Harry Kane gets sold for like $55 million.
Oh, no, I'm absolutely going to blame him when that happens. Yes, but that won't happen because he's got years on that contract.
Every question he gets from here on out, time in memoriam, every press conference starts with, hey, man, can you explain why you sold Harry Kane for $55 million instead of the 100 and whatever the hell million Manchester City was offering?
Mm-hmm.
I hope that starts every press conference forever.
So you hung on to Harry Kane because?
John, Harry Kane played 47 games last year.
6 months later.
He played 47 matches last year. Summer. Yeah, no, he'll sell him for more than that. Let's stop the fantasy land because he's under contract through like 24. So they're gonna sell him. They're gonna get some money, but they could have started the rebuild sooner. Mm-hmm. But then if they were going to hire Nuno, they weren't going to rebuild anything. So just saying. But no, Harry Kane played 47 games last year. Previous years, 29 and 28 in league. He did miss some cup games. Previous years, you might be right. Last year, maybe he was trying to get that contract. I don't know. He played 47. That's a lot. Mbappe did not hide from the Real Madrid conversation at all. Ask, when you say leave, are you talking about Real Madrid? Of course, Real made an offer. L'Equipe adds that multiple offers were made. Mbappe said, when I say that lots of things were heard, I'm talking about something else. People said that I turned down 6 or 7 renewal offers. No way. People were saying that I didn't want to talk to Leonardo, even though it's the president, Al-Khalifi, who wanted to take things over. When I'm told to speak with the president, I'm not going to say no. People were saying I was planning on messing around in the dressing room. Again, not at all. So he's still saying, he said, he said, did you want to leave because it was Real or would it have been possible elsewhere? He said, no, I am attached to Paris, and if I had left this summer, it would have only been for Real. So then more, and then he said, so that's it, you're going to leave. And he said, I've been in football long enough now to know that yesterday's truth is not necessarily today's nor tomorrow's. If I was told that Messi was going to play at PSG, I wouldn't have believed it. So you never know what's going to happen. Keeps like, you realize that by saying that, Leonardo and Al-Khelafi are going to come back into the fray. And Mbappe's like, I needed to explain myself. I had to put an end to the silence. I owed it to the supporters. I couldn't speak over the summer. That wasn't possible. Now the summer's over. I had to clarify things, and I think now's the right time. So
I cannot wait until this man is in MLS one day. Holy God.
I don't know. I mean, it's a long time down the road.
Make it some. Yeah, I don't care. He's going to get more petty as time goes on.
It could. It absolutely could.
I hope he does not get more wise. Just keep on, man. Here, let this thing ferment like a jar of applesauce, turn it into apple cider sauce. Let this thing ferment for the rest of your career, my man. Come to MLS and then just give some Hall of Fame press conferences, please.
It's possible. He's going to Madrid, and he's going to be introduced to El Chiringuito in person. So anything could happen.
He's gonna crash the set.
He might. He might go hang out. He might take Pogba brother number 3's place.
Like, dude. My God, what a blessing!
Awesome.
Is blessing the right word?
For those of us outside the immediate orbit, for those of us who get to watch, not for those of us who are involved. Yeah,
fair enough.
We're not going to have to deal with the fallout from this, Jason. None of us are going to get the radiation poisoning from this. So yes, from a distance, it's a blessing. It's funny. We can laugh about it. It doesn't impact us. I'm going to laugh about it. I'm not being one destroyed by this.
Just saying.
Talento no.
Love that show. It's the best.
Oh, that'd be amazing television.
It is amazing television every time it's on.
Well, no. I mean, when Mbappe is introduced into that entire equation.
When the countdown clock just reveals Mbappe walking out on the set.
Yes!
And Petteral just loses his mind.
Oh.
The set's going to get broken. Not by Mbappe, but he's going to be responsible for it.
It's possible. I can't deny that would happen. It's very, very possible that something like that would happen.
It's going to happen on the same day that Barcelona promotes some 18-year-old kid out of the academy to try and fill a spot, and the comments on the set are going to be unhealthy.
Yeah.
Like, oh, y'all brought him up. You brought him.
Mondays with Reddit.
Talking about Barcelona.
Sorry for a card in advance.
What? There's a player who retired last year, finished his playing career in China, currently an assistant coach in Russia, doing UEFA coaching badges, who reportedly has offered his services to Barcelona amid one of the deepest crises in club's history. Yaya Toure has offered his services to Barcelona right now.
Oh boy!
Which services?
Polo was like an assistant coach. I didn't know Yaya had done this too. This is groundbreaking. This is news in and of itself. I'm excited.
Which services? I'm not 100% sure.
Well, honestly, when you said "Hey, it's a former player who was in Russia for a while," I thought "Oh man, please tell me Stoichkov just said he'd be the Barcelona coach."
I'm down for that. He might strangle somebody. Maybe a player on his own team, maybe a player on the opposition, maybe an opposing manager or referee. It could be any of them. Yaya tweeted yesterday, my time at Barcelona is one of the best memories of my playing career, all the great things. He said, it may be a difficult time for the club, but my belief for Barcelona is strong. I will always be available for the club should they need me anytime, as my heart is forever with the club, the people, and the fans. You could take that a few different ways. I don't know if he can play. I guess he could play better than some of the guys they have. Sorry for
player manager. There you go.
I don't think he has the proper badges.
I don't think you have the facilities for that, big man.
No, I don't
Big
think
Shaq
it's
might be
legal.
right.
I don't think it's legal, Jarrett. I don't think it's actually legal to happen.
I feel like we're underestimating Barcelona's extent to not give a damn about that. But you are correct.
No, I think they'd be stopped from doing it. I think they'd probably try, but I think they'd actually be stopped from doing it this time around.
I think that is true.
I think they would try to do it and be like, oh, yeah, crap. We can't do that, and we don't have the money to pay anybody off to make sure we can do that. Good job, Barcelona.
Henrik Larsson is coaching these days. Just go get him.
Sure, why not? They couldn't get anybody to take the job.
Toiling away in the Nordic lands.
They come out and they're like, yeah, Ronald Koeman, it's great. Everything's fine. We love you. Just don't talk to the Dutch media.
Yeah, you're no longer allowed to talk.
Don't go talk to them at all. But, we love you. Everything's fine.
Ani Dalla might be free soon.
Yeah, and he should probably stay free for a while. It's kind of went pear-shaped, as they say, Jarrett.
It has.
Pear-shaped.
Kind of warned people this was a possibility. And you know what? It might get unpear-shaped at a perfect time for him, too, because the playoffs are dumb.
It could.
There's a very good chance that doesn't happen. But if anything I've learned about Ronnie Dalla, it is that pear-shapedness is never permanent with him. And it tends to kind of roll backwards at very interesting times.
Yeah, it's possible. They're not looking like that's going to happen.
They are not looking good.
No, it's a problem. All right, before we get into picks of the week, we do have to talk about CONCACAF and World Cup qualifying coming back this week. Let's get into a couple things off the jump. Manfred Ugalde, who was lighting it up for Saprissa, has moved over to the Netherlands. Very young, goal-scoring forward for FC Twente now. He has said he will not play for Luis Fernando Suarez of Costa Rica, the current manager. Suarez, after the Panama game, I think the second game of their last window, said that Ugalde wasn't up for the duels in the game, and he wouldn't be able to handle, or no, the Panama game was first, the Jamaica game was next. He said he wouldn't be able to handle the Jamaica game physically, so he wasn't put on the game day roster. He basically said he wasn't tough enough. The press ripped the manager, said he was wrong in his assessment. Ugalde basically said, why are you throwing me under the bus? I'm out. See ya.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So no Manfred Ugalde for Costa Rica. They have announced their roster, and he's not on it, obviously. They're about what we would expect. Keylor Navas is with them. Teams coming into this, so injuries are a big storyline. No Christian Pulisic, no Gio Reyna for the U.S. Canada, you've got Alphonso Davies, you've got Jonathan David. Kyle Larin is banged up. Junior Hoylett is unlikely to travel, although that could change because now, of course, at the very last minute, the UK has changed their policy. I don't know if Junior Hoylett is vaccinated. If he is, he doesn't have to miss any time. If he is not, he has to miss 5 days upon his return. So, question on his availability for the game in Mexico. Honduras, they will get Albert Ellis back, and I know Jarrett's very excited. So excited he can't speak.
He gone.
Well, that's good. Anthony Lozano was not called in. Fans are upset. He's at Cadiz. Romel Kyoto, I think, will be fine. I think he was actually listed as probable or questionable for the game against Atlanta on the weekend. He was fine. So I think they'll be okay in that. They are missing Rubilio Castillo, who was not called up. He's playing in Bolivia. He's been scoring goals down there, but nope. Eric Zavaleta is out for El Salvador, probably had a concussion on the weekend, unlikely to play at least in the first game of the batch. Raul Jimenez is back for Mexico. Almost a year since he's played for Mexico, over a year since he's played for Mexico. Irving Lozano is back. Hector Herrera is back. So Mexico is pretty close to full strength. Getting there anyway. I do want to see what Raul Jimenez looks like. Yeah. Also, it was announced a little bit earlier today, John Brooks withdrawn from the roster due to back issues. The U.S. MNT Twitter account said no replacement will be named ahead of #USA v Jamaica Jam. I think that leaves the door open to potentially call somebody in for games 2 and 3, but they're not bringing somebody in right now. Maybe it's a little bit of let's see what we have. I don't know. I have to think about it. Who would you call in? Because if you want to call them in quickly, you're calling in somebody from MLS.
Right.
You already called in Zimmerman. James Sands would make sense because he's been there in the last camp. He can play center back. Kind of feels like a no-brainer to go ahead and do it. Because, again, why not? Unless he just says, no, I don't want to go. But I don't think that would be the case. I would. He's the no-brainer to me. I'm trying to think of anybody else that would make sense from MLS, and I don't really have one. So just call in James Sands.
Yeah.
Just to be there, just in case.
Yes.
So you don't have to call him in later if you have an issue. Like, just go and call him in. He was there last time. I wish, and maybe it's not being asked, maybe it's not being clarified. I wish Berhalter would give an answer about his strategy in these situations. Because I don't know what's going on with it. I don't know why you don't just bring Sands in when you have Brooks injured. It doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. Dead again wants to bring in George Campbell. Let's slow down there. Slow down, buddy. Let's keep him here in Atlanta as long as we can.
Yes.
Tim Parker's out. Tim Parker's been out for the season, hasn't he?
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah. Coco. You can't call him Tim Parker. And Aaron Long's out too. So James Sands. Just James Sands. Like, it's easy. It's easy. I don't get it. I don't know. Who knows? Yeah, Parker, I can't remember what it was in Houston, Coco, but I think I'm correct in saying Tim Parker's been out for the year.
Efforting.
Pretty sure. Your efforting's kind of slow. You still efforting?
I'm still efforting.
What's taking so long?
Trying to find out. See.
What's taking so long? What's the efforting?
I'm looking down the wrong rabbit holes.
How hard is it?
Let's see. Tim Parker injured.
Yeah. What did you start with?
Tim Parker. I just started with Tim Parker, basically.
We're going to have to teach you how to Google, John.
True.
Parker. You still haven't found it.
No, it looks like he played 90 minutes. It looks like he played 90 minutes against Vancouver.
Okay. Well, then he's not injured.
Oh, there you go.
So I was wrong. Trust me, it ain't the first time. Maybe he was out earlier in the year or something. I can't remember. Yeah, you could call in Tim Parker. Sure, why not? I'll call James Sands in first. So what's Tim Parker doing this year? Now I got to look. Yeah, he's played plenty. I have no idea where that came from. I don't know. Fever dream on my part. Tim Parker's played 29 games. That tells you how much Houston is really moving the needle these days.
Yeah.
Coco, yeah, I mean, there's plenty of U.S. center backs you could call up, but you don't just want to call in anybody. Like, you've got James Sands, who was with the group last time. He was there during Gold Cup. He played in the last game. Like, easy. Just bring him. Perfect. Tommy, what's up? I know you're still celebrating Rivers' big win, which we're going to talk about here in just a second. Dead again, you are correct. Tim Parker is in Houston, and nobody watches them, not even the Houston fans.
That is true.
Sadly. Yeah, man, I can't believe I completely missed on Tim Parker. No, Tommy, we're ready for Superclasico right now.
Oh, boy.
Well, then what do you have to say about it, John? Because
you're
very excited.
It took. Now, this is since I've just started watching them in earnest. It was one of the most unique injuries from a goalkeeper that I've ever seen 15 minutes.
Oh, that's what you're going to start with? Really?
Well, I mean,
Why you got to dismiss Marcelo Gallardo like that? Why you got to dismiss Julian Alvarez like that?
Oh, the Alvarez goals were amazing.
Well, you start with a goalkeeper like wasting time so Boca can get somebody healthy. Why do you start with that? Marcelo Gallardo is furious with you right now.
When that image sticks in your head like that is one of the most egregious time wastes of all time that I've ever seen. That's why I went to the front of the line.
No, it's so good that it worked. Like, it actually worked because, I mean, it was a red card. They were going to give them a little bit of time to potentially make a sub anyway. It wasn't necessary. I hope the referee laughed. Like, they were preparing the free kick, so if you didn't see the game, so you know what John's talking about. They were preparing the free kick, preparing the wall. Maybe they weren't going to give him time. Maybe Boca decided at the last minute they were going to make a sub. I don't know. But Rossi, the goalkeeper, as he's pointing out, like setting up the wall, he then sits down and starts grabbing at his hand. And the laugh on Paramount Plus was that he heard himself pointing.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Whatever it takes, you do it. John is a Boca fan, Tommy. I think that's what it is. Did it work? They made their sub, so good on him. It worked. Didn't work in terms of actually keeping the ball out of the back of the net because Alvarez went off, and Alvarez has been going off, and Alvarez is legit. He's going to go for a lot of money somewhere. Be very curious to see when that happens. Tommy's getting a beer from Rich Ransom. That is true. I don't know why Rich had me pegged as a River fan because I'm not a fan of either one. Obviously, I'm wearing a Defensa Justicia kit.
Yeah,
come on.
There you go.
I'm not a fan of either one because I know better. I'm not getting into that knife fight. Want no part of it. I will laugh at both when the time comes, as I've been laughing a lot at Boca lately. It doesn't make me a River fan. It definitely doesn't. I mean, if I had to pick one of the two, like at gunpoint, it'd probably be Boca because of Maradona, but I don't have a strong feeling either way. I'm a defensive guy. So, yeah.
Did I see a Pity Martinez cutaway on the broadcast, too?
Yes, he was there. Yes, he loves River. That's not a surprise.
No, but I was in scanning. I was taping our college football show at the same time that the match was on, and I looked over and I glanced, and I thought I saw Pity Martinez cutaway up in one of the boxes.
Look, I don't think people understand how big of a deal this game is. And I think at times, and it happened while Pitti was here, and it probably will happen again. I don't know if people understand how big the league is in Argentina to Argentines. Like, when players say they love their former club, they love their former club. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing bad about it. It's not, he wants to leave, he's mad he left River. No, he loves River because it's a huge club to him. It should be a huge club to, most people because it's a big deal. And the Superclasico is giant. And if you're injured and you're rehabbing and you're back at home and you're a club legend, because he is, yeah, you're going. Yep. Absolutely going. Tommy, yes, I am trying to be the hipster of the hipster soccer league. It's true. I picked Defensa, one, because I always said, like, I'm not going to pick River or Boca, even being a Maradona guy. I said I wasn't going to do that. And when I started watching the Argentine league consistently, I mean, I've seen it at different points on different channels. Fanatis got me hooked on it, and fntz.co/soccer down here. I saw Defensa the year that Racing won the title, and Defensa took it all the way down and came in second. And I'm like, first off, why are they Defense and Justice? Like, what?
Yes.
And who's this coach that they're calling Kurt Cobain on the sidelines? And why is he gesticulating so much? They play really good soccer. I like this team. And that was it. I got hooked from watching them play and just seeing it a few times and seeing they were a fun team to watch and then getting to know the story of the club a little bit. So then Crespo came in after some bobbles when Becasese left the first time, and Crespo comes in and wins the Copa Sudamericana, which is insane for a club of that size. It's just nuts. I mean, they got stars over the crest, yo. Because they don't have them in the league because they never won the league. It's just crazy. So, yeah, love them. Defense is a fun one. John should be an out of CV fan, but he probably is not. I don't know who John will pick. He probably won't pick, and he'll just randomly bounce around to teams again.
Well, no, but I understand the defensive bump that we gave them when we started following them, and I love their gear. I mean, that's easy.
You love everybody's gear.
Not everybody's.
Almost.
I don't have any Manchester United stuff. I don't have any Liverpool stuff.
Well, you have teams that you're actually invested in there.
Yeah, that is true.
So that's different.
Yeah, I have one of my Swansea jerseys just over my shoulder on the sofa here.
Did you burn the Doritos shirt?
Yes, actually, I gave it to
that's better than burning
Salvation Army. No, yeah. I got rid of it. Yeah,
that's better than burning it.
Absolutely.
Coco, you are correct. Watching the ageless wonder Pepe Sand at Lanús.
96-year-old Pepe Sand.
He keeps scoring goals. Pepe Sand. Bring him in. He can be the backup forward here in Atlanta next year. He might start at 45 years old and score hat tricks. Who knows?
He's like Julio Franco, where he says he's 45.
See, now you've angered Marcelo Gallardo, and now Pepe Sand is going to hate the show.
I'm saying
you've called Pepe Sand a liar.
He's an ageless wonder.
You've called him a liar.
Like 52.
You've called him a liar. Why would he be 52 saying he's 40? Wait a minute, what? You're calling him a liar. He might outrun Higuain, but Coco, I'm gonna take an unpopular stance. I know you're shocked. The insults of Gonzalo Higuain this season about what he's done for Miami are incredibly unfair. Have you seen the team around him?
He's done a lot more for Inter Miami than Blaise Matuidi has.
Yeah. Number one, did he sit down and cry when Santiago Sosa ran into him in Fort Lauderdale? No. Blaise Matuidi did. He took himself out of the game in 15 minutes. Just saying. Higuain's got double-digit goals. He works hard. He does work hard. And I know everybody will point to one video that is unfairly edited.
Yeah, they didn't add the context to the beginning of the play.
They didn't show the 60-yard run that he made right before it.
Yeah.
No, he's not going to go then chase somebody back. So, no. The Higuain stuff, Higuain's lived up to his end of the bargain. He needs help around him. And they got robbed over the weekend. They might have gotten some highway robbery themselves in Toronto earlier in the season, but they got robbed in that. That was a horrible call. When the defender grabs the player and then the player tries to create the space away and then the defender falls down and gets the call. Yeah. First, it's incredible defending because you pulled off that nonsense. Second, it's horrible refereeing. Third, Phil Neville was correct to be kicking things and saying he got robbed because he got robbed.
Oh, yeah. He destroyed a couple of chairs.
Coco, I wouldn't say Higuain's a bum compared to Sand. I still think that's unfair. I think Higuain has done his job. I think many others have failed. Yes. I'm defending Gonzalo Higuain here. I think he has not been anywhere near the problem. I think he's done well. I think he has no help. I mean, now to the point that he's trying to play a number 10 role in the midfield, which, maybe that French World Cup winner could maybe step up into and play a little bit, but no. He'll fall down again and say he wants to leave. I know, DM Tim, it's crazy. Poor refereeing in MLS, it's wild. Poor refereeing in the Premier League, too. Ask Pep Guardiola about it. He had some things to say. Maybe not true, maybe exaggerated, maybe feeling a little bit of the victim, but he did get robbed on that call too, because that was 100% missed. Coco, that's actually pretty good. He says Higuain is the example of what would happen if ATL really had no help around Joseph. Yeah, that's actually a really good point because, we see both dropping into the midfield. We see both trying to make things happen. Joseph is doing that in the context of a team that actually functions. And Higuain's doing that out of the context of, I don't want to stink.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to not stink. Can somebody help me, please?
Oof.
They're not.
Mm-mm.
It's bad. Do we have Jarrett back?
No, not at the moment.
Jarrett. So, since we don't have Jarrett back, then, John, why don't you tell us really quickly about... Hold on. Over here. About... Toca Football.
Do you have a young soccer player in your family? Have you ever considered private instruction with a professional instructor to take your player's game to the next level? Toca Football has 4, not 1, 2, or 3, but 4 indoor soccer training centers in the Atlanta area. Their trainers utilize innovative technology in a fun environment to help improve your skill and decision-making. Give Toca Football a try. We're partnering with Toca to offer our listeners an opportunity to check out the revolutionary and fun Toca soccer training method for how much, Jason?
Free.
Book your how much?
No cost.
Session now with the promo code DH at tocafootball.com/program/TOCA-training. tocafootball.com/program/Toca-training. You can also go to soccerdownhere.net and click on the ad that is on the page as well and get your favorite player to the next level. Toca Football, proud sponsor of everything soccer down here.
Tell your friends.
Yes.
Tell the kids in the neighborhood.
Yes.
Toca Football.
Oh.
It's good.
Are we going to do our of the week as well while we're in the sponsor segment?
No, because Jarrett's not back.
Oh, man.
We're going to try to do that if Jarrett would actually come back to the show.
True.
Mile High 17, that is a good question. If the code, what's the code, John?
DH.
Thank you. If that works outside of Atlanta. There are Tocas outside of Atlanta. They are not global, but they're national. And I cannot wait till the Toca Social comes to Atlanta. I think there's one in Texas. It's their kind of like a Top Golf style Toca.
Oh.
So it's like soccer things that you do while there are drinks involved, which I'm sure will go well. I'm sure they will have all of the safe things in place. Ricky, we got picks of the week. I'm trying to get Jarrett back first. Give us time. We're going to have picks of the week. I know. It's the only reason people come. It's the only reason people are here. I know.
No, I thought the other reason people came was for our Lemonizer of the week.
No, it's just the picks of the week, John.
Darn.
It's just the picks of the week. Mile High 17, please try the code for the kids in Denver. Please try. Toca's really good. If it doesn't work, still go to recommend Toca. It's really good. Eddie Lewis did not just come up with this on the fly. This is something that he did when he was in college to try to make himself a better player, and he created his own homemade version of Toca and now has created it for the masses. It's really cool. When you got national team players on the men's and women's side using it, yeah, it's legit. Nick is recovering. Nick is fine. He has been watching. He is not in any position to be speaking on a microphone from the gifts that he has
probably
posted.
be the best way to do picks of the week if you're Nick.
No. What we will do is there will be a substitute for Nick this week, and it will be the people on the Twitch pitch.
There you go.
The Twitch pitch will be filling the role of Nick Leafy this week for his picks. And using Nick Leafy's fake money. Yes. Not his real money, because nobody's going to have that access. I'm not trusting him. He'll hit me with a bat. But his fake money, yes. So we will have that coming up here in just a bit. It's coming. Relax, people. It's coming. Jarrett should be back at some point, I thought, according to his last message.
Yes.
We'll figure out. You guys figure out how you're going to make these picks. I don't know. We're making things up on the fly. Have you not listened to the show before?
I mean, come on now.
Come on. I mean, we're making it up as we go. It's like every other day. It's just how it goes. While we're waiting on Jared a little bit longer so he can make his picks with us, the CONCACAF setup. First off, I highly recommend John Arnold, who we've had on the show, his Getting CONCACAF subscription email. It is worth the subscription. One, because he has a bunch of great stuff about the whole region, a lot of extra stuff about Mexico, and as we're getting into Leagues Cup relationships. Nick might be able to make his picks via direct message to us. He can't speak. Jarrett is still talking. Nick is yelling about drugs. Again, not the completely fun drugs because he had surgery today. But he is okay.
Yes.
He is okay, and he is talking about making picks. So I don't know, maybe make Jarrett's picks. I don't know. We'll see what happens. we'll give it just a little bit more time, Jarrett and Nick, and we'll see what happens. John Arnold's getting CONCACAF email subscription. Do it because it's great work and it is recommended. And the paid subscription is worth it as we get into a Leagues Cup relationship with Liga MX. You want to know more about what's going on in Mexico, John Arnold will let you know. He gave a great update on everything going on in CONCACAF, notable names on the list, notable names not on the list for each of the teams, some thoughts on it. Worried about El Salvador's defense without Zavaleta. That does hurt them. Canada, Kyle Larin, Atiba Hutchinson, Milan Borjan, all banged up. They probably won't play in the first game. They're going to need some people to step up and deliver some big performances. Tajon Buchanan is one that is cited here. I could believe that. I absolutely could believe that. Liam Miller in Switzerland, I don't know. Costa Rica, we've talked about it, the whole Manfred Ugalde thing. That could be a problem. All the veterans are in this group that they've called in. Keylor Navas, Brian Ruiz. Everybody that you would expect is there. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, to be perfectly honest. It's an older team. Giancarlo Gonzalez has requested not to be on this team after being named to the initial list. Don't know why. I don't think this older group is good enough to get qualified. I don't. I think the more they rely on the older group, the more they put qualification in jeopardy. Jamaica's kind of the wild card here. We just don't know what they're truly going to be as they keep adding players, it seems like, every single time. No Leon Bailey. Quad injury keeps him out of this group. Preston North End midfielder Daniel Johnson is on the list, but he pulled out because of an injury at the last minute. Ethan Pennock is on the list, but he is probably not going to make the trip. He's coming back from a hip issue. Did play in Brentford's most recent match, but coming back from a hip issue, might not make the trip, according to reports. No Corey Burke, no Michael Hector, no Ravel Morrison. A lot of people hurt, and it's not what Jamaica needs right now. Tapa Whitmore at the bottom of the group, 3 games. If they're still at the bottom of the group, he's fired. Like, they can't afford not to. He needs all the help he can get. Panama's been the pleasant surprise. I still don't think they're good enough to really test the top teams, but they've been the pleasant surprise. It won't be easy for the U.S. going down there. Honduras is another one that you've got a coach in danger, at risk of being fired if it's not a good window for them. That's where you're at right now. Now, games in this round. We know U.S. and Jamaica on Thursday. You can watch with us at Reformation Brewing in Canton after we talk to Greg Garza, Mark Bloom, Georgia Alliance. We talk about Soccer for Good, all the good work that is being done using soccer to benefit the lives of kids and families out there. That game will kick off about 7:45 is what the listed kickoff time is now. I know it says 7:30, but we should be used to this by now. Our show will go up till about 7:30 as we get you ready for that. You can watch with us at Reformation Brewing, the Canton location. El Salvador is hosting Panama about 2.5 hours later. Honduras is hosting Costa Rica. Mexico is hosting Canada, and Canada will be shorthanded for that one. That's all on Thursday. On Sunday, U.S. goes to Panama. I've seen a wide range of times for this game. CONCACAF initially had it at 8:45, but I've seen reports that it's a 6:30 kickoff now. I don't know when that thing's being played Sunday. You'll find a time, John, and I've seen both. So I don't even waste your time because it might take you 5 minutes to type it up anyway. I don't know. Jamaica hosting Canada. That's a massive game Sunday. That's a 6 o'clock kick. Mexico hosting Honduras. Costa Rica hosting El Salvador. That feels like a massive game too. Wednesday, Canada hosts Panama at BMO Field. Honduras hosts Jamaica. El Salvador hosts Mexico. U.S. hosts Costa Rica. That's a big game. Costa Rica has a really tough trio of games. Going to Honduras, hosting El Salvador, and then coming to the U.S. Costa Rica could be in as desperate of a position as they've been in a long time by the time they get to Columbus.
Sorry, nothing like trying to mash a button. U.S. Soccer officially lists the Panama match at 6 Eastern from the Estadio Rommel Fernandez.
Maybe it changed. I think it's technically a 6:30 kick is what I saw from Stephen Goff. But CONCACAF has it in what I'm looking at as 8:45. Maybe it's changed. Who knows? It is CONCACAF, so anything is possible.
Yes.
How do you think the U.S. does in these 3 games? What's the point total?
I'll go 7. 2 wins and a draw.
2 wins and a draw. What are they?
Let's see. I think as we lay it out, I think out of the blocks, I think you get the win against Jamaica.
Yes. I think that's the easiest game of the window.
Yeah. Then it ends up in Panama. I think that's the draw just because of travel and all that and the quick turn. And then I think you beat Costa Rica and Columbus.
So you're doing the win at home, draw on the road.
Yep.
That's where my baseline would be too. I think because you have 2 home games and neither one of them is Mexico, you should be looking at 7 points. That's what it should be. It's what it could be. It could be 9. It could be less. But 7 feels like the baseline. And I don't care how you get it. The last window, I know, it wasn't the order of the 5 that was expected, but you got 5, which would have been my baseline by the home win, draw on the road stature. You got it a different way. Fine. You made up for a bad game in Nashville, and you went on the road and won. Good. Here, 7 points. I think with 2 home games, and again, neither one is Mexico. If one is Mexico and you want to say, well, just as long as you get a result there, cool, that's fine. That'll qualify you. If you win all your home games but Mexico and you get draws on the road but Mexico, you'll qualify.
Yeah.
No question. So take care of business. I do wonder why he's not calling in a few more people. I definitely have questions there. Jordy Mihailovic would be on my list to be called in 100%. And yes, call me an MLS homer. That's fine. I don't care. I'd bring in Joe Scally. I don't know if I would be starting him straight away. I probably would not, but I'd bring him in because I think he's deserved that. But it's a longer trip for somebody who might not be factoring in on the field. So I somewhat can understand that. I don't know why you're not replacing John Brooks yet. I really don't get it. Just call in James Sands. He was there last time. That just feels like a no-brainer. I don't get being weird about that. But I don't have massive, huge, giant issues. Take care of business and win. Get your 7 points. Get out of there. Everything's good.
Yep. That's my baseline in this. Canada starts out with Mexico, and that's going to be a tall order for them coming out of the blocks. And then Panama starts with El Salvador. So, you're thinking, maybe Panama gets one. If Panama gets 1 point out of that first match, that puts them at 6. U.S. knocks off Jamaica, which they should, puts them at 8. Mexico with their first match going up against Canada, you're thinking, should be a win there, so that would put them at 10. So you're starting to get that separation that we were looking for. But yeah, for me, 7 points is the baseline. And if you get that win coming out of the blocks, it sets an early marker for the rest of the stage.
Yep, I'm with you. Jamaica and Honduras coming out of this could be firing managers and won't be eliminated, won't be in a horrible spot at the end. They'll still have 8 games left. But, yeah, you could be talking about managers being fired from those 2 at the end of this window. It's going to get hectic. I don't think we're going to get Jarrett back, it seems like.
Okay, so you want to do the DMing and the poll?
Nick's listening, so at least he was, unless the drugs have kicked in fully. You know what? We will have the Twitch Pitch participate anyway. What you will do, Twitch Pitch, and you can take this to the Discord.
There you go.
I need somebody, first off, and this didn't go well last time I asked for it, but I need somebody to step up and be a captain.
Okay.
You're going to have to figure that out amongst yourselves. I'm not going to declare a captain. So, you're going to rally a consensus, and you can do it through polls on the Discord, whatever you want. And I need it before the start of tomorrow's show. I need your picks. Okay? You still get to pick the Sunday game. No problem. You still got the Sunday game. That is yours. But you get to make your picks this week. And use your fake money. And we'll see what happens. All right. And we'll get Jarrett's picks, and Nick might be contributing his on direct message as we go, unless he has fallen over and passed out, which is possible.
But well, he is
paying attention. He is trying to declare Coco as captain, but Nick, no. The players have to pick their own captain.
Yes,
we are not going to name a captain where they have to pick it out. So, but I need it before the show starts tomorrow of what your picks are going to be. Yes, you have homework. Absolutely, use the Discord. All right, Last week, first game on the board was Shakhtar hosting Inter. Nick picked Inter and lost. Everybody else picked the draw and got it right. Nick, you picked Inter and you lost. Really, man? Man. Wednesday, Montreal hosted New England. I picked the draw. Montreal let me down really big. Really big. Club de Foot. What the hell? Everybody else picked New England. They got it right. I got it wrong. Thursday, it was Ammonia Nicosia hosting Karabag in the Europa Conference League. Nick and John picked the team from Cyprus who was at home. They scored first, and then Karabag ran them off the road. Big win for Karabag. Jarrett and I got that one right. Friday. So at that point, Thursday, Jarrett was in first, 3 for 3. That's why I mentioned it on the show on Friday.
Mr. Perfect.
10-20 on the board for Jarrett.
Oh, wow.
645 for me. John, you were at 650. Nick was at 75. The Mr. Perfect, he lost the next game on Friday.
Well, so much for that idea.
Yeah, that's why I said it. I jinxed him. I did that. Cagliari hosted Venezia. And Jarrett picked Cagliari. Didn't happen. Nick and I were huffing paint and picked Venezia. Didn't happen. It was a draw. And, of course, when it's a draw, John gets it right.
Yes.
So John went back into the lead over Jarrett. I still stayed at a pretty good number there. And Nick was in the negative. Then Saturday, Torino hosting Juventus. I went for the underdog in Torino. Didn't happen. Close, though. Closer was Nick and Jarrett picking the draw. That didn't happen. Juve got a late goal, and John got that right. He finally got a pick right that nobody else picked and wasn't a draw.
Yes.
Then Sunday, I went for Boca because they had been better form. They were not. Marcos Rojo, you punk.
Oh.
You punk. Thanks for getting a first-half red card with 2 yellows. Punk. I missed it. Everybody else got it right. So I didn't even do the final total because it had already been decided by that time because of the way the picks had gone. Oh, yeah, and by the way, going into Sunday, the prop bet was when the first goal would be scored in the Wofu Taipo versus Dreams Metro Gallery match was. Wofu Taipo won like 6-0.
Wow.
And the first goal was in the 20th minute. Nick said the 15th. He was the closest to that.
Without going over.
Yes. So he got his bonus 100. So going into the last day, Nick was in negative. Everybody else was in positive. This was a good week. If you were paying attention to the picks of the week, it was a good week. Ricky, you got till the start of the show tomorrow morning to give me your final selections. Okay, so I lost on the last day, so I ended up at 345. That's still a good week. That's fine. Nick, 180,
Yeah.
positive. To take it and you run. Jarrett finished up at 1025 in second.
Oh, wow.
And John won the week with 1425.
Wow.
This was another week where everybody on the show was in the positive. 180 as the bottom of the list is really good. 2 in 4 figures, really good. And John won with got to be your highest number ever.
I would agree.
It's not the record. Jarrett got 21. I think it was 2105 is the all-time mark. So John adds another win. Do you have the all-time standings, John?
I'm trying to think off the top of my head.
Okay, we're going to have to stop the off the top of your head stuff. So I'm going to mark them here because I should have done this a long time ago, but I did not. So you won. I've got 12.
Okay, so it's 12, 7.5, 6.5, 4.
Okay, you said numbers. Who has them?
Let's see. I think, God, who had the other half? Jarrett's got the 4. Nick has the 7.5. I have the 6.5.
Okay, yeah, that feels right. You and Nick had the half. I do remember that much.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is our current table for the season. I've got 12. I've got a 4.5 game lead on Nick, who's got a 1 game lead on John, who's in third, and Jarrett is in last with 4. But Jarrett has the all-time mark at 2105. So good week, John.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You want to say something about it? Go ahead. I don't care.
When you're sitting there and you're faced with multiple games in leagues that you're sitting there and you're trying to go, okay, how do we gauge this?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you just have to step away from who you are. You go against type.
Mm-hmm. You do?
And by going away from picking a draw for all the selections, which I did, I don't think how many draw selections did I have? I don't think I had very many this week in accordance with the 6.
I think you had 2.
Yeah, so 2 out of 6 were draw selections.
Keep talking. It's okay.
Instead of the standard 4 or 5, and there you go. So this is what happens when you go against type. So lesson learned by me, sometimes going against type works, especially in leagues that you're not all that familiar with. Go with your gut, going against type. Everything will work out sometimes.
You still going?
No.
Okay, cool. I need another beer.
That's what I figured.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Need another beer.
Mm-hmm.
I should have had him do the Eliminizer read to celebrate. That's true. No, he deserved his promo. He deserved it. DM Tim, I had a Reformation because we're going to be there on Thursday. So
there you go.
And now I am going into the new realm, Depths of Hellas. It is a Hellas Lager, so I'm excited. All right. Maybe we'll get Jarrett in time for an Eliminize. If not, we'll do it at the end. Okay, so we got games to come up with. It is an international week, so these could get interesting.
Yeah.
Buckle up. John gets 2 picks, and he has a veto. I get a pick. Nick gets a pick. Nick, I'll tell you what, I'll make it easy for you since you're all hopped up on things. You get Saturday, so you have time. You have Saturday to pick, Nick. I think you have a bunch of European games to pick from, so that should be okay. Saturday, Nick, you pick a game. Twitch Pitch has Sunday. Jarrett might get a pick, or we might just have another consensus pick. We'll see how that goes. Jarrett, he could randomly appear, so I always leave that possibility open.
Yes.
All right, tomorrow. Actually, I think this is going to be Jarrett's pick. Sorry, dude. It's going to have to be something weird because we got Corinthians and Bahia in the Brasileiro. Serie A. We got Valor FC and Cavalry FC from the Canadian Premier League. We got Nueva Chicago and Temperley from the second division in Argentina. Man, we could get into the reserves in Argentina. We can go to the CFA China League, which I think is the second division or maybe lower than that. We have Zibo, Kuju, and Wuhan Three Towns.
Wow.
We have the Colombian Super Cup. Ooh. America de Cali and Independiente de Santa Fe. We have the National League in England. No, Coco. CFA China is like the smaller divisions. They don't have enough money to go bankrupt. The National League, the pick seems to be Kings Lynn Town hosting Barnet. Yay. We have the EFL Trophy, which has U21 teams in it. I did not know that.
That is true. Yeah.
That's
how they make it different.
Bolton is hosting Liverpool's U21s. I'm sure there's action on that game. Yes, there is action on that game.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Jeez. Wow, they're going way down into the lower divisions in England.
Mm-hmm.
Shepshed Dynamo hosting Corby Town. All right. We have the Women's Champions League in Europe. We have Barcelona hosting Arsenal. Ooh, that's the pick. No, that's actually not even a close thing. They got Barcelona at minus 450. Okay, maybe not. Because I want it to be like a kind of good random game at least. Because I think we're going to have to go random with this one.
Yeah.
The Brora Rangers hosting the Cumbernauld Colts in the Lowland Football League in Scotland. We could go to...
Tell you what, I'll pull the Canadian Premier League game.
Knew you were going to do that. All right. We got Valor hosting Cavalry. The Antarctic Premier League is off right now, Coco. Sorry.
Isn't it summer down there right now? Or spring. Getting into spring.
There you go. Valor hosting Cavalry. Valor's a minus 118. The draw is a plus 200. And Cavalry is a plus 300. Recent form. Last time these teams played at Valor, it was a 1-1 draw on September 18th. I don't know the format of the league in Canada right now. I'm a little confused that they played so recently. The time before that was also at Valor, and they got a red card and they lost to Cavalry. Cavalry won the last time it was at home. Coming into it, Cavalry went to Edmonton and won 3-2. They lost at Atletico Ottawa, and they lost at home in the Canadian Championship to Pacific FC. They got one win in their last three. It's not a whole lot better for Valor. They got a draw their last time out with Edmonton. How many times is Edmonton playing people? Wow, okay. Okay, so Valor played over the weekend on the 2nd. Cavalry last played on September 29th, last midweek. All right, so that factors into it. Valor lost to Pacific FC at home. They lost at York United. I finished lower than you, so I'm going to go first, and I am going to go with Cavalry to win.
Okay.
What are you picking?
Do
it. You want to.
No, I mean, I'm looking at Valor's recent form in league. They've lost 3 of their last 5, and Cavalry is 10-5-5. I'll go with Cavalry for the win as well.
All right. We'll see what these other degenerates pick when they get a chance.
Nick is picking Cavalry as well.
Okay. I have a feeling that's going to get across the board because I feel like those numbers are really bad. All right. Wednesday. We got Italy and Spain in the Nations League semi-finals in Europe. We got Sudan and Guinea in World Cup qualifying in Africa. We got Morocco and Guinea-Bissau. We got USL Championship, Oakland hosting Sacramento, New Mexico hosting Hartford, El Paso hosting San Antonio, Memphis hosting Sporting Kansas City 2. We got Richmond hosting Forward Madison in League One, Union Omaha hosting Fort Lauderdale. We got Copa Argentina with Godoy Cruz and Tigre I think we have NWSL. We're supposed to. I'm probably going to stay away from that because I'm not 100% sure that's going to get played.
True.
We got the Brasileiro, Red Bull Bragantino, and Flamengo is a really good game. Atletico Mineiro, the leaders, are at Chapecoense. That's an interesting game.
There's supposed to be 3 NWSL matches.
Yeah. Red Bull Bragantino, actually pretty. Oh no, they're an underdog at home to Flamengo. That's a fascinating one. We have more Canadian Premier League, which we're not going to pick because we're not doing 2 games from that league in the same week.
Nope.
Come on, we're not
Nope.
complete degenerates.
Nope.
We could go to the Danish second division if you want. We could go to the Women's Champions League for Chelsea hosting Wolfsburg. I think that's actually a pretty interesting game. I am going to go with, because it's probably the best game on the board, and I will suggest it as a consensus pick for Jarrett. Go with Italy and Spain.
Okay.
Any objection?
Nope.
Okay. I feel like we have to.
Yeah.
So, where is that being played?
Let's see.
Do I have it? Oh, it's in Milan. At the San Siro.
Well, there you go.
So, Italy is at home in this. Last time they played, it was a draw after extra time in the Euros with Italy and Spain, 1-1. Last time Spain hosted in 2017, Spain won 3-0. Last time it was in Italy, it was a 1-1. That Italy-Spain game in the Euros, was that in Italy? Or was that somewhere else? I don't remember. That was at Wembley. Okay, that's what I thought. All right. So, Italy, Spain. Italy is a plus 120. Spain is a plus 275. And the draw is a plus 210. So, not a lot of love for the Spanish.
Mm-mm.
You go first.
90-minute draw.
Draw. And it is a 90-minute draw because this is a semifinal. I gotta think on this for a second. I'm going to go with. I'm gonna go with Italy.
As is Nick.
Yeah, I'm not surprised on that. Yeah, I'm going to stick with Italy. I like that. All right. So I got to pick and you got to pick. And Nick's got a Saturday and the Twitch pitch has Sunday.
Yep.
All right. Thursday, we got Belgium and France. We got South American World Cup qualifiers. Sorry, Ricky. I will go back through the numbers. If you want the numbers, there I use SofaScore, Ricky. So you can pull the numbers from SofaScore. It's the exact same that I have. I'll also go back in and post them again, and I'll try to go slower too. But I'm a little excited. So Thursday, Belgium and France. And is Belgium actually hosting that? No, that is in Turin. Okay. South American World Cup qualifiers, we got Paraguay and Argentina, we got Uruguay and Colombia, we got Venezuela and Brazil, we got Ecuador and Bolivia, and we got Peru and Chile, and they hate one another.
Let's go with Peru and Chile.
You want to go with that? Oh,
yeah.
That's a good one, too. That's not an easy one to call. All right, Peru hosting Chile. Peru's a plus 160. The draw is plus 210, and Chile is a plus 180. So 160, 210, 180. That is not an easy one to call. The last time they played was last November in World Cup qualifying in Chile, and they won 2-0. Last time they played in Peru, it was a friendly in 2018, and Peru won 3-0. When they played at the Copa America in 2019, Peru won 3-0. Last time in the cycle, Peru went 1-1-1. They lost in Brazil 2-0. They won at home to Venezuela 1-0. They drew at home with Uruguay 1-1. Chile, last 3 games in the cycle, they lost in Colombia 3-1. They drew in Ecuador 0-0, and they lost at home to Brazil 1-0. In the table, and this factors in too, it's 7 and 8. Peru's on 8 points. Chile is on 7. They are currently 6 and 5 points out of a playoff spot right now. So it is turning into desperate times. It's my turn to go first, and I am going to go with Peru is hosting. I'm going to go with Peru.
Okay.
What are you picking?
I'm going to go draw. Nick is going Chile.
Okay.
And Coco, it looks like, is proposing the additional prop bet to be an over-under on cards.
That will be up for consideration. Prop bets might need to be a little weirder than that, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, October 8th is next. So we've got, and this one's mine. I got to pick one.
Mm-hmm.
Czech Republic and Wales, Estonia and Belarus, Gibraltar and Montenegro.
Jabroni?
Boy. Yes. Latvia hosting the Netherlands. Louis van Gaal will probably fight somebody. Turkey and Norway. Germany and Romania. Liechtenstein and North Macedonia. Iceland and Armenia. Go Armenia. Go Armenia. Cameroon and Mozambique, but it's not in Cameroon. No, I think it is in Cameroon. I think they can actually host games in that group. Malawi and Ivory Coast and Mozambique all can't. Egypt is hosting Libya. Angola and Gabon. All right, these are the games for Friday. Real Valladolid and Malaga in the second division in Spain. Tranmere Rovers and Colchester United. Woo! We got Argentine action. Newell's and Vélez. Estudiantes and Rosario Central. Unión and Platense. Man, I'm a little disappointed with Friday, to be perfectly honest. I am going. Oh, wait a minute. The Scottish Challenge Cup is that the deep fried Mars bar cup?
I think that is deep fried Mars bar. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. I will go. Let me pick the right game from this set of qualifiers. That is somewhat tricky. They don't have any numbers.
It's too early.
I'm going to take the game anyway. Egypt hosting Libya. That is what we are going to go with for October 8th. So, Egypt with new manager Carlos Queiroz in his first game against Libya, who has Javier Clemente, another name as a manager. We have no odds. Libya leads the group with 2 wins. Egypt has a win and a draw, and that was enough for them to fire their coach because only the group winners go into the knockout round here. Last time they played was a friendly in 2017 in Egypt, and Egypt won that 1-0. Mentioned the most recent performances. Egypt played a friendly on September 21st, so maybe that was Carlos Queiroz's first game. They beat Liberia in a friendly 2-0. Gabon and Egypt was the 1-1 draw. Egypt and Angola was a 1-0 win for Egypt, so they've not been impressive as of late. In African Cup of Nations qualifiers earlier in the year, they didn't lose. They had 3 draws and 3 wins. Libya, who's 2-0, they won at Angola. They beat Gabon at home. They, in African Cup of Nations qualifiers, lost at Tanzania, lost at home to Tunisia, and in the African Nations Championship in January, the AFCON, They lost one game and drew 2 and didn't get out of the group. So Libya is kind of shocking everybody at the moment. They are on the road here. Egypt has a new manager. You're up first, John.
Egypt.
I'm going to go with a draw.
Okay.
Because I really have no idea where to go with that game. Go ahead and sing it if you want. That was Friday.
I'm good.
You're good? Okay, that's cool. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do it for any other day because that's just stupid.
Oh, yeah, because there aren't any songs.
I mean, there's
unless...
different songs, but you can't do that. Like, don't do that for Saturday or for Sunday.
No, because there's not a specific Saturday song.
No.
So
like Saturday's all right for fighting. That'd be a lot.
No, I mean that would be the one to do, but I don't have Elton John's vocal range, so that would be.
I don't think you had Rebecca Black's vocal range either, but that didn't stop you.
Well, Rebecca Black and that particular song, Nick picked a draw, by the way.
Okay. I was stalling a little bit. Saturday, Nick, what you got?
All right, so Nick, it is time for your Saturday selection with Nick Alifi.
Yeah, we'll get it eventually. Possibilities for Saturday. We've got... Now you got Saturday night. Good call, Ricky Ricardo. You could sing that, but that'd probably be an easier one for you to sing, actually.
True.
Finland and Ukraine. Scotland and Israel. Andorra and England. Woo!
Plus 53.88 for Andorra.
Good grief. I got plus 4,000. I didn't want to go that high. Togo and Congo Republic, who've both stunk up the joint. Boca hosting Lanús. Anfield hosting River. We do have MLS on Saturday. Red Bulls hosting Miami. Cincinnati hosting Philly. Seattle hosting Vancouver. We got Phoenix hosting Oakland in the championship. San Diego hosting Sacramento. Lou City hosting Sporting Kansas City 2. Still waiting on Nick. We should have NWSL games this weekend, I would assume. Houston and North Carolina, Orlando and Gotham, Washington and Racing Louisville. If you want to get into the true degenerate things, you could go second division in Spain with Almeria and Las Palmas. You could go to the Dutch second division, I think, with FC Eindhoven hosting Top Os.
Nick's going MLS with his selection.
Okay, what's he got?
New Jersey versus the Fighting Hamburglers.
Oh, boy. Desperation match right here. They don't even want to put the numbers up yet.
I've got some if you want them.
No, let's stick with SofaScore. We'll be consistent. And in these cases, just so everybody knows, I go with what is posted after the result is final. Like, I don't check back in and pick a random time to look at it. If it's not there when we pick, it is what is posted when the game is final. That's the last numbers. So that's what we go with. So Red Bulls hosting Miami. Now, recent form. Well, recent times they've met. Last time they met, it did not go so well for Miami in Fort Lauderdale. It was a 4-0 loss and a red card. Last year, Miami 1-1, Red Bulls 1-1. Miami went to Red Bull Arena and won in October of last year. Miami got robbed in Portland. They lost here in Atlanta. They got beaten like a drum by Nashville. And the drum was actually busted the week before against the Red Bulls. 4 straight losses for Miami. Red Bulls beat Cincinnati. Big whoop, I know.
Mm-hmm.
They drew with Philadelphia. They drew with Philadelphia at Red Bull Arena. They beat New York City. Right now, that's big whoop.
Mm-hmm.
They drew within New York City, who had 2 red cards the first time they met. And then they beat Miami like a drum. So 3 wins in their last 5, no losses in their last 5. Red Bulls would have to be favored here by a fairly large amount.
They are on other sources currently.
Well, these numbers will not be final. So, Ricky, these numbers are not final, but if you want to use them for your suggested purposes, What are they, John?
In the composite at odds portal, Red Bulls are minus 141. Your draw is plus 282. Inter Miami is plus 384.
Not quite as bad as I thought it might be. What are you going with?
Draw.
I got to go Red Bulls. It pains me. I'd like to go Miami, but I can't in any bit of good faith lead anybody down that direction right now. I'll go Red Bulls. I think they win. They should win. Yeah, Coco, it's completely found out that I am a Red Bull lover. I like to drink their product. That's true.
Yes.
But I'm in pain picking them to win. I would really, really like to pick Miami, but I cannot, in any good conscience, lead anybody down that road right now. No. Red Bulls are going to win.
And Nick is picking the Fighting Tyler McGillicuddies of New Jersey.
Okay. Sunday, Twitch pitch. What you got? What you picking? I'm sure you've got something absolutely ridiculous to go from on Sunday. You could go South American World Cup qualifying if you wanted. Now, nothing is up yet. Will you have to repost your first selection? We know how this goes by now. It is a recommendation. It is then seconded, and it is thirded. And that's what makes it official.
Yes.
So there's nothing on the board yet. Will post it again. Will is demanding people second his Sunday league game that isn't even picked yet.
Unless it's his actual Sunday league game.
Which it could be, and I am not going with that. Ricky throws in the Maldives versus Sri Lanka South African Football Championship. What? Wait, what? Aren't those? What's going on? I'm confused. Did they name teams after other places?
I don't know.
I don't have anything on Sunday from your South African Championship, Ricky. I don't even know if that's a valid selection.
South Asian.
He said African. Okay, okay. No wonder I'm confused. Thank you. Jeez. Sean goes Lion City Sailors versus Belstire Khalsa.
Balestier Khalsa.
Singapore. Sure, whatever you say. Dordrecht hosting Helmand Sport from Coco. Will always shouts, Kev, so you should be used to it by now. Robert's Rules absolutely uses thirds DM 10. It's in the appendix. It's there. Okay, thank you, Ricky, because I was looking for South African Championships and I was confused. Okay, we got a second on Sean's game. Will is trying to get to pick the... yes, he is trying to literally get his Sunday game picked.
Yes.
4-card goes Argentina, Uruguay. And no, we have a third from Coco for Lion City Sailors versus, how are you pronouncing this?
Balestier Central out of the Singapore Premier League.
Do you know their French?
No. I'm just guessing.
Okay.
That,
you said it with a lot of, yeah. So I was thinking maybe you knew them or had
confidence
their shirt.
is half the battle. Lion City and Balestier. So how about that?
Y'all picked, the best team against the garbage team, although they've got 2 wins in their last 5. So, I mean, okay. So somebody's going to have to take a real flyer here. Of course there's not odds on this. Lion City Sailors has a pretty sweet logo. I like it. It's maybe not as good as Balestier or Balestier, wherever they are from. Because that's a pretty sweet lion on it.
Ooh, I like the Lion City Sailors, too, yeah.
I like them both. This is a game of good crests. Okay, you got that part right, guys. Let's learn a little bit about these teams, shall we? That's what we do, right? We learn about new teams. What's the E?
Recent form.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Lions have won 2 of 5. You got to give them that at least. Let's talk about them first. So they were formed from a merger of 2 teams. They were formed in 2002, but they were founded in 1898. They've changed their name many times. They are 7th of 8 right now. Their manager is a former German Croat footballer named Marko Kraljevic. Again, they were formed in 1898. Wow. Again, they've changed their name many times. Wait a minute, they had an elephant. The merger. One of the teams that was a part of the merger had an elephant. I guess the elephant lost out to the tiger, huh?
Guess so.
It's a pretty sweet tiger. Their players are almost all from Singapore. They have a player on loan from the Lion City Sailors. That could get awkward. They have 2 Croatians, they have a Serbian, and they have 1 Japanese player. Okay, that's your underdogs here. Lion City Sailors with the sweet logo. They were founded in 2020. So, okay.
That's why they got a sweet logo.
So,
to get it done.
Their owner, Forrest Lee, is a Singaporean billionaire and the richest person in the country. In 2021, the club smashed the league transfer history with a record 3 million Singapore dollars signing of Diego Lopes, a Brazilian player who, where was he last? Because the name doesn't ring a bell. He was at Rio Ave in Portugal. He was with Benfica for a little while. Okay. This is interesting. They had previously been the Police Sports Association.
Okay.
They organized football activities for the Singapore Police Force. They sent teams to play in tournaments. They joined the National League. They won the Division II title in 1980, et cetera, et cetera. The team's nickname was the Protectors. Its mascot was a dragon. February 14th, 2020, the club was privatized for the first time in its history when Forrest Lee announced he had purchased a 100% stake in the club. So he bought the police team.
Hey.
Okay. They renamed the Lion City Sailors Football Club. They used to wear red. They changed to white and blue. They signed Diego Lopes. The previous team was the first team and the only team to have its own academy. The police team had an academy. All right.
Police academy.
Well, jeez. Are you going to do silly voices now?
No, I can't do Michael Winslow.
Yeah, it's crazy. So Lion City Sailors did their own academy afterwards. So they have almost everybody from Singapore except for the 2 Brazilians. They have Diego Lopes and they have Jorge Felipe, who is a defender. So they're killing it right now. And they're spending a lot of money. And they've got big money behind them. And they're playing a team with a proud history going back to 1898. Fascinating matchup that the Twitch pitch has selected. Lion City Sailors, again, we don't have numbers on this. We'll just have to wing it. But Lion City Sailors are in first. And Balestier Central or Balestier Central.
Balestier Central.
Is that in Central Alabama?
Yes.
I think it is.
Balestier Central.
I think it's in Alabama. That game will be Sunday. Recent form. Last time these teams played, it was a 1-1 draw. Balestier with the host. Last time they played, oh, jeez. That was in August. April 18th, Lion City Sailors won 4-1 at home. Last December, Lion City Sailors won 5-2 at home. Last time in November at Balestier Central or Balestier, it was a 7-1 win for the visitors, Lion City Sailors.
Woof.
Woof. Last 2 games for Lion City Sailors, a 3-0 win on the road and a 6-1 win on the road. They did draw before that, and then they won 3-1 at the Young Lions. I might have to learn about that.
Well, they were technically that at the time, yeah. Because they were a new club.
Well, no, that was like a few weeks ago. They're like a year old now. They got so much money, they're not even new anymore. Young Lions has an incredible logo. Wow, look at Young Lions go. The other side of things, Balestier, they lost 3-0 in their last game on the road. They won 1-0 in their last game at home. They lost 4-0 before that. They won 5-2 before that. They lost 4-2 to the Young Lions. They are all over the map. That's all after their 1-1 draw with the Lion City Sailors. Lion City does not care about financial fair play, Coco. That is 100% correct. Ricky Ricardo says it's pronounced Balester, Paul.
Pretty much.
I think he's right. All right. I am going to. We have a website now. Hold on, that needs to be checked first.
Oh yeah, no, I've already gone into the store.
I'm sure you have. Have you ordered something already?
They need to have larger sizes probably than what they have available. They need to get into like the 3 and the 4X for it to fit us.
Sailing into uncharted waters.
Oh yeah, their website's awesome.
Wow,
no question.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. Explain that, Graham. They have an Instagram game, I guess. Okay. Cool. I'm gonna pick the draw. They drew last time. Who are you picking?
Lion City to win.
Yeah, figured. You might get like $3.
Yeah, really?
Possibly. Nick has probably fallen asleep. He picked Pride Rock? Wait, which one is Pride Rock? He's picking the lion.
Yeah.
So, okay. He's going.
But he says, but the hyenas were right, and Lion King is bourgeois propaganda. Workers of the world unite.
Nick has really gotten into the good stuff by this point in the show. This is why he's not on the microphone. I'm going to clarify, Nick. You're picking Balster, right? Balster Central.
Balster Central.
Yeah. he's yelling like he's Will or something in their messages. I'm going to put Nick down for the underdog. I think that's what he's picking. He'll have to clarify. And we'll get Jarrett's picks later, and we will get the Twitch picks later. He went Lion City, yes. He went the other way. Yeah. That's not cool. They don't have an actual lion on their thing, though. Disappointing. You'll win $3.
They do have the steering wheel for the
Which has
boat.
nothing to do with lions.
It's sailors.
Which has nothing to do with lions.
Hey, maybe they're brave sailors. I don't know.
I mean,
it's a very cool jersey, but and I think it's 40 in Singaporean dollars.
I'm going for a wild.
Oh yeah, if you win this one, you get the week.
I might. It's very possible.
And the
Balester.
The Balester Central pink kit is very, very cool.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, I'll go with that. I hope they wear the pink kit, and I hope they get a shocking draw. That's what I'm going to go with. All right, so the prop bet. We did have a suggestion of cards in the Peru-Chile game, which I like. That's a pretty good one. I am going to go with... I have a better one.
Uh-oh.
All right. The prop this week. The number of goals scored on Thursday's CONCACAF schedule. 4 games. USA, Jamaica, Honduras, Costa Rica, Mexico, Canada, El Salvador, Panama. The number of total goals scored in the 4 games. That is the prop. Closest without going over has been the suggested way of doing this. I am going to go with 8.
Nick is going with 7.
Okay.
And I'll go on the high side. I'll go 10.
Okay. All right. That is our picks of the week. Brought to you by nobody. Maybe one day. Possibly. It could happen. Probably not if they ever hear the segment.
Mm-hmm.
But you never know. Somebody might be a degenerate like us and get excited about it.
There you go.
Maybe the very rich owner of Lion City Sailors. Hi. If you want to support us, we will talk about the Lion City Sailors when we need to.
Mm-hmm.
We do have a chart update this week. We fell out of the charts in Ukraine.
Boo.
I know. We talked a lot about Shakhtar, and we fell out of the charts. We fell out of the charts in Ghana.
Boo.
It's upsetting. We dropped 15 places in the charts, but we are still at number 46 in a new one that we haven't talked about yet. I didn't even know we were on these charts. Greece.
Nice.
We didn't even talked about any teams from Greece.
Well, no.
I don't think we did.
I thought Pauk Salonika was Grecian.
I think just Pauk. And I think you always mispronounced it. But now you got it right. Somebody kept reminding us that it was Pauk.
Pauk is Greek.
I wasn't even thinking about the second name. I just always know him as Pauk. My bad. But thank you, Kefsey. But thank you, Kefsey, again. I'm just going to say that over and over again.
Thank you, Kefsey.
But we have moved up a spot in the charts.
Yeah.
Number 34, Bhutan coming through again.
Excellent. And
God,
the jerseys are still off.
I love Bhutan. I love their jerseys. I love their national team. They love soccer down here in Bhutan.
Nice.
Number 34 in the Apple Podcast sports category in Bhutan.
Nice.
It's pretty cool. Could be worse. We are in the chartable reach category in the United States in sports podcasts, number 235.
Sweet.
292 global in the reach category. In reach, we make a couple different charts. Canada, in all podcasts in Canada, everything. All the Canadian podcasts about poutine and about molasses cookies and who knows what else. We're number 5,256. I don't even know why they gave me that number. We're number 1604 in all podcasts in reach in Brazil.
Okay.
That's better. We're 1560 in the U.S. in all podcasts in reach. But
top 7/10 of 1% on Twitch, by the way.
Cool. I'll take it. But our best in reach in all podcasts, all categories, is in India, number 1398.
Nice.
But Bhutan, you got our back on the Apple Podcast charts. We appreciate it. Thank you, Bhutan. If you're listening in Bhutan and you're contributing, that's being number 34, please drop us a line. Say hello.
Yes.
We would like to know who's listening in Bhutan because that's just amazing to me.
Uh-huh.
Maybe they listen for the Eliminizer of the Week section.
There you go.
Maybe. They might. I don't know. They might like it. They might really get into it. John, tell us about Eliminize.
All right, here we go. Are you looking to score odor-free, clean, fresh air in your home, car, RV, or boat? Realtors and property managers, are you trying to sell or rent a home that has a great location but smells worse than, let's see.
The Lion City Sailor socks.
There you go. Lion City Sailor socks after a match. Give a red card to bad odors left behind by cigarette smoke, pets, and food with a Lemonize service. They offer a customized, eco-friendly solution to bad odor problems. Go online now to eliminize.com/Atlanta, ELIMINIZE.com/Atlanta for a special offer. Eliminize service for odor-free, clean, fresh air.
You even found the chord there. That was good.
Give me every once in a while.
Yeah, the sun shines on a dog's,
Yes,
every
that
once
is
in a while.
exactly right.
That's what they say. I didn't make that one up. I've heard that.
No.
That's an old
right
saying.
there with you.
That's an old one. So, we always pick the Eliminizer of the weekend, and it's a defensive player of the weekend.
Yes.
Do you have a selection, John?
I do. I
do.
just want to get the full complement of the statistics.
Have to give that.
Yeah. And I had two keepers to choose from that were neck and neck for my Lemonizer of the week.
Okay.
And so I ended up going to the championship in England.
Oh, jeez.
No, it was either that or the Bundesliga, and I'd already been to the Bundesliga this year for my Lemonizer of the week. So I went to the championship. Birmingham City and Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest was a plus 260 underdog going into the match, and they won 3-0. So my Lemonizer of the week goes to their keeper, Bryce Samba, who had 8 saves on the day, 1 high claim, 5 saves from inside the box, 20 of 32 on his accurate passes for 63%, 43 touches on the day, 11 of 23 on his long balls accuracy. So for punching a 9.1 on SofaScore in an 8-save shutout as a massive underdog, Bryce Samba, the keeper for Nottingham Forest, is my Lemonizer of the week.
Oh, I did go to the Bundesliga, and a team that was in trouble coming into the match, Jesse Marsh's RB Leipzig, because I'm a Red Bull lover, but they're not Red Bull, of course. RB Leipzig with a 3-0 win over Bochum. Yes, it was Bochum, but you take what you can get if you're RB Leipzig right now. And Mohamed Simakan had a big day. Big day. Only played 79 minutes. He didn't have to play more. He had 5 interceptions, 2 tackles. He won 13 of 14 duels.
Wow.
Frank de Boer might come out of retirement for this guy. 13 out of 14 duels. Earned 4 fouls. Didn't commit a foul, period. Passed at 90%. 4 of 6 on his long balls. 7 defensive actions. Mohamed Simakan is my Lemonizer of the week.
Lemonizer of the week.
Should you do that with a different effect if you're going to do it right after I did it with the same effect?
I didn't think that your voice was as high as mine when I did it.
I mean, it's close.
Or it's like the echo function, like when you're hitting the pedal on the guitar and you get the reverb.
Yeah,
so
I'm going to have to get a voice box or something to really mess with people.
There you go.
That could happen. One day. We will get Nick and... Oh, no, we got Nick. Nick's Lemonizer of the week.
Lemonizer of the week.
I just did that, John. If you're going to do it, you got to do something completely different. Lemonizer! You got to do something.
I don't have that vocal range. That ain't happening.
Okay, then don't do the same thing. Then you got to have something else to it. So, I guess it actually would be appropriate in Nick's. My Lemonizer of the week is little Benjamin, Laney, Julian, and the Duchess from the reigning Tacos U6 team. They only had 1 sub. They shut the other team down. Benjamin had a slide tackle at the goal line to keep the squad in the game. Laney and Charlotte ran an all-girl midfield and did not allow a shot on goal for over 15 minutes.
Strong.
I checked the SofaScore numbers. They got an 8.9.
Sweet.
Amazing. Man, Will's yelling at me, calling me a jerk. He's actually not yelling at me, so that's probably even meaner for him not to be yelling because it's Will. He's always
you
yelling.
went all E.E. Cummings on you.
Seriously, it's pretty similar, Will. I'm wanting something different. Anyway, Nick's Lemonizer of the week are Benjamin, Laney, Julian, and the Duchess from the Raining
Tacos.
Raining Tacos, not raining rain, raining champions.
Champion tacos. The best tacos for U6.
Julian played sweeper with extreme fury, is what the scouting report said.
Nice.
That's what I checked on Y Scout. DM Tim, I don't know what you're supposed to do with those channel points yet. Hold on to them, though, because we might come up with something if I can figure it out. Don't throw them away. Now Will's yelling again, so he's really fired up. Except, whatever. He's picking Lemonizers from personal leagues, but not picks of the week. I see how it is.
Mm-hmm.
Nick is usually on the show, so he gets that selection. He's just really hopped up on things right now because he had surgery today. But he's doing well.
Yes.
Sean, hold on to your 147,000 because you might not need to donate them to Gwen. You might be able to do something with them if we can figure that out at some point. Yeah, it was like Mickey Mouse FC, Ricky Ricardo. Maybe I should use that when we talk about Orlando next time. That could work. Let's make sure that our pal over in Denmark hasn't done anything stupid. It's very possible that he has.
I still don't think until they start shooting the next season of the TV series that we're going to be hearing a lot.
Yeah, it's looking that way. Oh, wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
I got to translate because I don't know Danish, but I see Bentner and I see Porsche.
But how old is the story?
No, it's like from a few days ago.
Okay. Sure it's not just a rehash of something?
Oh, it very well could be. It was from September 30th. Kenneth Jensen wrote this at Tipsbladet. Bentner in court, may lose animals Porsche. Okay. I don't know how the animals came into this. Okay.
Lose my Porsche!
Seriously. No, why? Okay, I was thinking like actual animals, like a dog or a cat, or I don't know. Bentner might have a weird animal.
Porsche.
Jeez. We have an update. This is good reporting from Nicholas Jensen. Really good reporting. Nicholas Bentner will appear this Thursday in the Copenhagen City Court, where he is accused of, among other things, driving without a driving license.
Yeah.
He will be charged in Copenhagen City Court on Thursday for not having a driving license. Verb conjugation is really weird in Denmark. Translating it to English, I'm learning. Bentner was snatched 3 times by police in 2020.
Whoa, hello.
Driving without a driver's license and 2 speeding tickets.
Okay.
In 2021, he's also been stopped a few times for driving without a license. What is stopping this man from getting a driver's license?
The previous problems.
No, I don't think he's prevented from it. No, it has nothing to do with that. There's more. If he's found guilty in at least 3 of the cases when it comes to driving without a driving license, it sounds like there's plenty to pick from. A judge may consider confiscating Bentner's Porsche Taycan Turbo S. I don't know what that is. I know it's a Porsche, but I don't know the Taycan Turbo S.
Porsche, spell the Taycan for me.
Well, I already got it. Nicholas Jensen did your work for you. According to Porsche's website, a Taycan Turbo S costs a little over 2 million kroner to buy a new one.
Okay.
How much is 2 million kroner?
xe.com. Go to our friends there to find the exchange rate.
Thank you, Nicholas Bentner, for doing stupid things. We appreciate it.
2 million, so kroner. Come on. Danish krona. There we go. 2 million krona into U.S. dollars translates into $312,000 U.S.
That's to buy it new. It should also be mentioned, according to Nicholas Jensen, that he may have leased the car. He does not agree that he's been driving around without a driver's license.
Okay, well then...
According to his lawyer, he has a British driving license.
Oh.
He has a valid British driving license, according to Nicholas, or to Mr. Jensen here. The question is then whether it can be used in Denmark based on a principle of mutual recognition, said Anja Velbeck Moridsen to TV2 in April.
Yeah, so that might... Well, and this is a legitimate question from DM Tim. Did Brexit mess this up?
Is Bentner going to get caught up in Brexit?
Oh, that is a legitimate concern here. I would think under normal circumstances under EU that maybe with a British driver's license he'd be okay, but maybe Brexit has fouled this up for Nicholas Bentner.
Wow. Bentner might be a casualty of Brexit.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
There you go.
This is going to get good. It could be the reason they re-enter the EU. No, it won't be. It definitely won't be that.
Get some help from Boris Johnson maybe on the court case?
Probably not. I don't think he's an Arsenal fan. Norway's writing about this as well. It's saying the same thing. He may have to hand over the Porsche Taycan. Of course, they started out. The former football star, where they passed in Rosenborg. Yeah, he played there for like a little bit. 7 violations of the Road Traffic Act.
Okay, so if it's 3 out of the 7 or more.
Well, I don't know if all 7 are driving without a license. I would assume, because I don't think he's had a license. So 7 could be driving without a license, and some of them for speeding.
That's a lot.
2.6 million Norwegian kroner is how much the car costs. The prosecutor filed a claim for just over 50,000 kroner in fines. And Thursday is the big day.
Okay, so 2.6 Norwegian krone.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the same. I think the bigger one is the 50,000.
So yeah, it's like 302 and a half.
Yeah, what's the 50,000 Norwegian krone?
50,000 Norwegian.
I want to know what
kroner.
his fines are at least looking like.
Hang on. 50,000. Oh, $5,800.
Yeah, he can handle that. I think. I would hope. If he's driving around a Porsche Taycan Turbo S,
yeah.
I would think he could handle that. We did talk about Brooks not being available, Sean, and I think James Sands should be already there in camp, but he's not. I think that's kind of dumb. There's really not a good reason for it. Just bring him in. If you don't play him, you don't play him. He's coming from New York. Like, check Scott's cheap flights. You can get a good deal.
Yeah.
You don't have to spend a whole lot of money on this. Bring him in.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even have to take him to Panama if you don't need him for that. But bring him in just in case. And that way, if somebody gets hurt on Thursday and you do need to take him to Panama, he's right there. Like, there's no reason not to. Like, I can get if you don't want to bring in Matt Miazga coming over from Spain. I get that if you've already decided he's not going to play, he's not one of my guys. Don't bring him. That's fine. James Sands was in the last camp. Just bring him. I want to keep the George Campbell hype train slow. No, don't bring him. Bring James Sands. He was right there. Joe, I'm with you. Just bring him. Just bring him. No reason not to. I don't get it, but whatever. I guess. Frustrating. Anything else on your mind, John, before we go?
I think we're good, sir.
You sure?
Yeah. I mean, we talked about England.
We
got
did.
The picks in.
We did.
Got the picks in. I cut my promo. You walked away and got another beer. So
yeah, I mean, it was time. It was time to get another beer. Like, you think I walked away for another reason?
I was going to say, yes. I think it's a full. I think that's a full show.
It was time. I was thirsty, man. What am I supposed to do? Yeah, I don't think there's anything else going on. I'm sure there'll be more stuff for tomorrow, and we'll talk about that in the morning. And we'll start to get you ready for U.S. and Jamaica. And
Dylan
US
Butler at 9:30?
U.S. and Costa Rica. Yes, we'll have Dylan Butler at 9:30 is the plan. We'll see if that needs to change. Will, I'm trying to slow the hype train down. We don't want George Campbell to be seen yet. Might need him next year to start.
Exactly.
And tear up the league. So keep it quiet, man. Come on. Work with me here. That'll do it. Stop fighting people in the stands. It doesn't make you cool.
Don't spit. That's
you
not
look
cool either.
stupid. Don't spit because you're a criminal. You should be arrested for assault and banned. Don't be a racist. I think that's kind of an obvious one if you listen to the show. Stop doing this stuff, people, so we can stop talking about it, and we can talk about Ezequiel Barco nearly scoring the goal of the season.
Oof. I
would have fallen out of the booth onto a Montreal player who wasn't dressed because they were sitting right in front of us. Yeah, it would have been ridiculous, but he didn't, unfortunately. It was close. But I'd rather talk about that stuff than people at Fiorentina being racists and people in Liverpool spitting on opposing technical staffs and people in LA fighting at El Trafico. Stop it.
Stop.
Hopefully we'll have more fun stuff to talk about tomorrow. We'll do our best. Thanks for hanging out. Mucho platiel.
Mucho platiel.